The Salt Lake City Major is just days away, and that means it's time for a super show. We brought on two incredible guests from two of the best regions, if not the best regions, in Rainbow Six Siege with long, illustrious careers to share their experience, talk about what happened to their teams during kickoff, and what we expect here in Salt Lake. I'm INTERRO. I'm joined by Mint, our guests, all the way over from Europe, very briefly in North America, under a team that Mint knows quite well. Now back on home soil. You know him as Nafe, currently playing with Team Secret, formerly of DarkZero, of course, and M&M Gaming, and Navi as well. Don't forget them. And of course, a man who has been around for quite some time, made some serious noise, and is consistently rated among the greatest player in his region. It is Paluh, or Palucifer, when he's terrorizing his opponents. You know him primarily from Team Liquid, now playing with Fluxo W7M. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're going to start before we talk about the regions going to Salt Lake. We're going to talk about what happened in kickoff, because both of you had to deal with some changes, I think it's fair to say. Nafe, I will cue you up first, because not only did you join a new team, but a team that just finished second place at SI, and you flew back home from North America. Why don't I just open the floor to you and say, what happened with DZ and how did you end up on Secret?
What happened with DZ? That's a big question.
One.
I know. Where do I start? Do I just start from the beginning?
You can start from wherever you start from the beginning for sure.
When was it? When did I join? It was just before Christmas one year. Is it 24 December 24?
SI, yeah.
Was it 23? I can't remember if it was 24. I think it was 20. I think it might have been 23 December.
Let's go to your Wikipedia here.
What Brazil? It was the Brazil SI.
It was,
was that?
Yeah, it was the Rio SI.
That was 2024.
No, Sao Paulo.
So it was 23 that.
Yeah. You joined DarkZero December 9th, 2023.
Yeah, how did that begin? Fun, if I actually remember it, I think Funny saw it at the time because M&M just disbanded because of all like the payment issues and all that kind of stuff. And also I was good friends with the guys on the team, and obviously a lot of the teams at the time were wanting people like Users and Solotov, understandably. Funnily enough, DZ were one of those teams. So yeah, Carl. And no,
how's it feel to be option B?
Yeah, exactly. I'm joking. No, understandably. But then yeah, when they formed that team with BDS, it kind of opened like the door for me to potentially go over there. And that man right there and the rest of the guys on the team gave me an opportunity to do something, and you know, I was really grateful. Yeah, then we had it was a bit up and down the scrims when I first joined, wasn't it? I'm trying to think. Those are late nights for me. I think 4 a.m. finishes, which was quite rough. But yeah, that SI went, I'd say, pretty good considering we'd only been teaming for a month and a half, maybe something like that. So not too long
until you peaked black, or lane right there. Yeah, that was great.
Hey, listen, if I win that gunfight, that's all I'm saying. Carl, in the skyscraper game against VP when we lost 7-5, I remember what did Carl say? He just said 60k to me. That's all he said, 60k, because that's the difference. If I'd won that gunfight, we would have got 60k extra because we would have came third that SI. What a lovely coach. Then what happened? Yeah, it was Manchester. Manchester was also pretty good. We had a good stage one. Manchester, yeah, we ended top 4, losing to BDS, and then Saudi was when the
incident happened, which of course, we want to ask about because Troy has shared some of his thoughts, but obviously the whole thing here is we want to hear both sides. But you obviously don't need to get into it too much. But if you want to share, is Kyle saying, Kyle, you're tight-lipped, or?
It's all him.
He's just trying to stir the pot. That's what he's trying to do right now. Yeah, no, I can talk about it. Obviously, I've always had the mindset of like what happens in the team stays in the team from like a professional aspect. Because I don't want to throw other people under the bus. But I mean, I don't know what Troy said about the situation. Something happened during the Liquid game against that guy. And it was like it crossed the line. But I felt disrespected at the time, and I think understandably Carl would agree. So it was more annoying that like we lost to our, well, obviously Liquid are a great team, but like it was frustrating the way we went out because the stuff that went on during that game. Looking back at it, like I don't think there's any regrets, but I think it could have been handled better. I think a lot of emotions were involved at the time. Obviously, as I said, like disrespect and that kind of stuff, and I think Troy probably felt the same disrespect with the way it went down. But I think one big thing is like, as much as the community want it to be like a solo decision, like I've said, Troy, you're gone. It was not like that. It was a team decision. It's not like.
Oh, sorry, was it a team decision or was it an org decision? Because this is something that we need to make. We need to make that very clear, I guess. Now here,
Kyle, back me up. Team decision.
Yeah.
No org. But yeah,
democracy voted.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I mean that happened. I don't think we had any regrets, and I think Troy. I think it kind of like I just have the mentality of everything happens for a reason. I think Troy probably is the exact same. He went on to Sonics, and he's obviously done well. I don't think they've missed out on a single event since he's joined there. I remember that first stage. My God, we played them. Remember, Carl? Was it? Oh no, it was. I think that might have been
the skyscraper, where Kobe was on thermite.
Oh no, we got absolutely destroyed that first game. Yeah. It's just classic. It's just like when they put G2 versus Troy at the first game of the event. It was like the first game of NAL was us versus Troy, and we got smoked on Skyscraper. But then we got to the final that stage, and it was 8-7, 8-7, 8-7, and we ended up losing. So bittersweet.
If you want me to hop in here for a sec, basically all I've heard from the rumors, and I mean, obviously I'm good friends with Troy, but I don't think Troy's perfect, and I'm sure Troy probably says the same about me. He torches the stupid shit I say on casting quite regularly, and I know you, to your credit, have also tweeted about some things that have frustrated you, what the casters have said, and I've reached out to you to try to make sure that if we're saying stupid shit, we're fixing it. But basically, my understanding was that there was just like, you guys got really heated, and Troy yelled, and the way that he went about it, I think Beaulo talked a little bit about it when he was on the show. It basically was just like he was too aggressive in the way that he was talking to teammates, and that just crossed a line. That was the gist of what I heard. And obviously that's probably a sanitized version of it, but basically it was like, you can't really talk to your teammates that way. And it reached a point where everybody just kind of got mad. Again, you don't need to confirm or deny. I'm just telling you what I have heard, and I've not had this confirmed by Troy, but I'm just going off of the things I've heard. So again, as with our most recent episode, the things we say are mostly speculation. It could be wrong.
That's actually a fun thing. Like, Nafe, I don't know when you joined the competitive scene, but like back in the days, things were so different. Like, Troy is like he's an old guy, let's say, and on the old times it was so rough. Like, it was way harder things. Like, it's so different. Like at my time, like Gohan used to smash me like in words when I was like when I was a rookie. So yeah, it's so weird. Like nowadays, I play among like youngies, so it's so different. Like I live both like realities. Yeah, like there are some times that you need to be like rough, but you can cross some lines.
Yeah, no, I mean, I came from like a sporting background in the UK, and it's like rough in that department. Like, I think you can tell quite a lot of people in the esports scene where they have been grew up in sports and where they haven't. It kind of
Yes.
like baby, like they treat like a baby kind of. So like any sort of, and I know like fully well, like if you want to be like a good leader, which Troy is, like you need to be firm, and like sometimes he's gonna say things that you don't want to hear. That's just the way it is. And it was just like this is why I said it maybe could have been handled better, because what you said, like the gist of it was pretty much correct. Like there was a line crossed, and like the way you spoke to people wasn't correct. But it's not like he was doing it all the time, and it was just like maybe like it was like kind of like inflated because it was at an event in like a game to put us into the semi-finals of VWC. So like it was like blown out, maybe a bit of proportion, because it wasn't like it was like kind of like a one-off like outburst. That's why I said it. I think it could have, like looking back at it, it could have been handled differently. But I mean, for me personally, there's no like I've still got major respect for Troy, and I'd like to think the same goes the other way.
For the record, when we have talked about you since that, he has never said anything bad. It's always been complimentary. So I mean, like obviously he was unhappy that he got dropped. I think a lot of people would be, but I mean, that's the business. That happens, you know.
Yeah, no, as I said, I've got like not one. I wouldn't even say a bad word about what happened because then again, it's like one of those situations where like it's happened, and I've heard even worse stories in other teams. So I've got nothing wrong against Troy. I know like for the next year and a half after we dropped him, it was always me versus Troy and this whole narrative that was created. And I never built into it because it was just like, you know, people are gonna talk, whatever. You need to like get your clicks in. But for me personally, I never really cared about like me versus him. It was just like just me versus anyone at the end of the day.
We used it a lot on the broadcast because it's just an easy selling point. It wasn't
Yeah, of
like
course.
I obviously like I'm friends with Troy. I never had any animosity towards you at all. Like I don't care. Like I separate that stuff. Like, you know, like if somebody doesn't like a friend of mine, I don't instinctively hate them. You know, like there's multiple reasons why people arrive at the points that they arrive at. And it was like there's no well, I think at the present moment there's no players I actively dislike in the scene. And even if I do dislike them, you know, I try to set my own personal beliefs aside because I have a job to do. And it's like with you and DZ and then with Troy and SR, it was just so easy for me to tell that story. And it's frankly, one thing that we've tried to do in casting recently is we've tried to tell more of the personal stories because it's actually a lot easier for casual fans to buy into that. Oh my God, Nafe and Troy hate each other. Then frankly, it is like, oh, well, you know, SR had like a full clear here. And because this person didn't mailbox, like they weren't able to get the like a lot of casuals, that's just like flying over their heads. But it's like British guy, Canadian guy, they fought. Now they're not on the same team. Like a baby can understand that. So it's like, I know for you, it's probably annoying to hear it all the time. And I mean, like Paluh, you probably watch like Meligeni and Ritalia and all the Brazilian casters. So you probably don't hear it in English. But like every time we cast Liquid, it's like, are they finally going to win something? You know, like, so it's like, it probably sucks as a player to hear this stuff, but it's really easy for the average viewer to connect with it. And that's why we keep doing it.
I mean, it's what I said. Like, I fully understand why it gets done. Like, of course, if I was in your shoes, I'd probably be doing the exact same. But I mean, I'm just putting it out there from like a public perspective. Like, I do not have any beef with Troy. I've got respect for the guy. Like, he was like I had my most success ever when he was on the team. So, and I thoroughly enjoyed the time that like I spent with him. It's just as I said, bit of a sad ending, but you know, life goes on.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. If you're someone who likes getting outside, but still really wants moments to lock in, well, you should maybe consider trying Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classics. They very quickly become my go-to for daily listening. I live downtown. I live in a walkable area. Transit's not too far off. And I bike from time to time. And they fit my needs perfectly. They're great when you're on the go. They've got good battery life, great sound quality, and ultimately they scratch all the itches that I really have when it comes to listening to music or doing voice calls or even listening to this very podcast when I'm outside of my house. They're packed with upgrades. They've got active noise cancellation. They're super comfortable. Their ergonomic design means they're not going to fall off your ears. And I will say, I've biked some pretty rough roads, and those things stay locked in. The new colors are great too. Obviously, I went with cool mint because we have a guy on our show named Mint, and I thought that was kind of neat. You get the good audio quality that you expect from the big brands, but just at a fraction of the price. And with over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, there is zero reason for you to overpay. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the perfect addition to your everyday routine. Go to buyraycon.com/DBNO to get 15% off. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this episode. I'm going to stop you there and I'm going to jump over to Paluh for a sec because I want to hear about Team Liquid. Because then we'll come back to you and we'll talk about leaving DZ and going to Secret. And then Paluh, I'll come back to you and we'll talk about leaving Liquid and going over to Fluxo W7M. You were with Team Liquid for so long. And I think it's fair to say you had a lot of personal hardship that occurred, like literal personal tragedy while with this roster. And we have watched you grow and mature as this player. And while doing this, you have consistently been one of the most formidable and scariest players in Brazil, which means you're one of the most formidable and scariest players in the world. What happened on Liquid? If I were to ask you, like, why did you guys never win anything? Could you answer that question? You're laughing. I don't think like laughter is the answer.
Just hit him like that.
No, it's just like have been so many things, so many different things. Like a few were things to learn, others were just like, let's say at the SI. I think we ran out of gas. Like we have been through so many things through the tournament. Like we were playing really really well, but like on the last map against NIP, we got like just out of everything. They were just playing and we were just accepting everything because it was a long run. But let's say the finals, an overview, general. Maybe it was sometimes not dealt the best way. Let's say when we were with Lagones editing, I think we were so prepared. Like tactically speaking, he's like a genius, but he's also like on a point that it's a bad thing for him because he doesn't sleep well. Like so, I think we weren't playing like individually so well because we were doing so much things. Like we were wasting so much energy that we couldn't like be 100% at the game, at the final, let's say, because the preparation could like be the best done, but if you aren't like on your best spot, like playing the game, it's hard. So that's a thing that's also, how can I say, experience for the next one. We even spoke like about it, a few things. On Yoko Ping, the final that we lost with him, like we had a talk because we had played like Skyscraper on the semi-final against, it was W7M at the time, and we got like 7-0. And even though we got 7-0, we chose to play like again on the final. It was like a bad decision, and it was the fifth map. So yeah, there are a few things that at the time, like we had, how can I say, we have our thoughts about it, but its experience too doesn't miss on the next one. Like after Yoko Ping, we play like the BR6 finals against W7N, and we banned Skyscraper and play, like I think it was Chalet, that we could have played against BDS, and like we spanked them. It was like 7-0, 7-1. So sometimes you gotta take risks even though it's like out of your zone. Is Yeah, there are a few things that I learned through the years, like but I think the right now that after I joined W7M and now Fluxo, I think the most important things, like sometimes you just like gotta take risks and that's it. Like sometimes it's gonna work, sometimes you just like don't have to overthink a lot. So I think I changed a lot of my playstyle since I left Liquid. Like I used to, of course, I still do some things, like I have to watch some rotates and stuff like that that I will be playing like on the back. But nowadays, like I even remember, like if I don't know if it was Doki, like if you see the gap, just go for it. It's just
Yeah.
just go and that's it. If it's gonna work, don't know, and if you don't try, you're never gonna know.
It's it. I guess both of you can answer this question here. We don't really talk as much in esports as they do in regular sports about consistently good teams playing more. Right? Like if you're constantly a team like in a traditional sport and you're consistently making deep playoff runs, you don't really have time to rest like a lot of the other teams do. Now obviously like fatigue and endurance aren't really as important in say an esport as it is in a traditional sport. But if you are on a good team and you are consistently making like top 4, top 6 finishes at events, is there like a tiredness or an exhaustion that creeps into you? Do you feel that?
Definitely, especially when you rest, like because if you like are studying the other team, you are like talking with your own team. Uh, you will like until you like kind of shut down. It's gonna take a while, and if you like stand it too much, it's going like let's say sometimes you gotta play like 10 a.m. So you gotta study, then watch some VODs or play some individuals until like midnight, let's say. So you're gonna think about it at least like 1 hour, 2 hours until like maybe you can shut down, like because your mind's gonna like keep on the things you were studying, and also there's maybe some anxiety. So yeah, the rest part is a thing that I learned to handle it, but that on the old days it was hard for me to like find a right spot, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same, Nave?
I'd probably say the fatigue, you notice it the most when you're at events, for sure. Because it's just like every single day, like whether you're doing media or like some days like at SI, some days you're doing 2 best of 3s in one day. And then you've got to VOD review and prep for the next team the day after. So like that's like a minimum 6 hour, like the thing is like scrims, like the energy you put into scrims of course is gonna be higher, but a real game like with like the officials and all like the the pressure and the like screaming and shouting, it does play a big part of it. And then you have to, as Paluh was saying, like you go and like VOD review and prep for the team after, and obviously like your brain's running at 1,000 miles per hour. Like I need to do this and this and this for tomorrow if we play this map and XYZ. So and then by the time you might have finished your games and done the prep, it might be like 11 p.m. already, midnight, and then you've got the 10 a.m. game the next day. So
Yeah,
it's like you can't breathe.
Did you ever, Paluh? I believe you did. You played you played in the Dream Hacks, right, Paluh?
I did. I think I played like one at boot camp, like
Yeah.
on my first team,
Yeah.
and then 1 or 2 at Liquid. I'm not sure. Like I played it was a Vegas tournament. It wasn't a Dream Hack.
Oh, that was the Allied Esports minor. Yeah. And you played the OGA Pit one as well. I think the OGA Pit one was when you won it with the soup or the Spider-Man jerseys.
Yeah.
But you were on boot camp. I want to say that was either DreamHack Montreal or that was DreamHack Austin when you were on the team called Boot Camp.
It was Montreal. Both, I think Liquid and Bootcamp was at Montreal.
Nafe, you never played in one, right? You made your debut, I think, after.
Yeah, my time came a bit after that.
Well, you didn't miss much. Kyle can tell you that I talked to... Sorry?
I think he missed a lot, actually. Those were some of the highlights.
Yeah, Falcons told me that they were one of his greatest times. When I was teaming with him on M&M, he said he used to love the what's it called, the DreamHacks.
The reason why I cited that is because I remember, Pojo and Fabian both telling me they're like, these are exhausting days. Like, and Kyle, I guess this is a perfect time for you to share your experience at them because they were long. They were long for casters, but as players, you'd play like multiple best of 3s in one day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was because it was only like a weekend or something, right? Like it was
like a 2 or 3 day event. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very quick like turnaround. You're right. You were playing many matches a day, but I mean, I grew up watching like the Call of Duty, the Halo, where they're in like those close LAN environments, literally sitting across from Team Secret. You're just able to not only shit talk them to their face, but also play footsies with them under the table. Like, it was real intimidation at that level. And you feel the fatigue? Like even going back to your previous question with like, you're adding these dream hacks into the events that we used to have, the minors, which we no longer have. You feel the fatigue at these events, but like I do think there's an appropriate rest time in between. It's just kind of on the players and the coaches to not get caught up in just siege 100% of the time. And it's really important to have hobbies and things like that so you don't get burned out. And that's how you get to be as old as somebody like me still around.
I've heard from tons of players that even when an event ends, there is pressure to either start trialing new players if you think there's a roster move coming, or start preparing for a new meta because a new operator is coming or a new map might be coming, and you don't really get the time to just actually rest. Like you don't get to just have like a month or 2 off. You have to jump right back into it. And I mean, there are times where my job is way less challenging than yours. Like, let's be honest, like casting is easy compared to playing. Like, but there are times where it's like, I'll go from an event and then I'll come home and then I have to start doing content for the next stage, or I have to do this podcast. And I'm like, shit, I'm only working like technically 3 days a week. And even I'm tired. So I imagine you guys are beat. And I hope that both of you are able to actually find some time to enjoy a rest period in between, should you fail to make events, that you are able to find time to actually rest and take your mind off of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I used to do when you are young and you join the scene, you just like everything's all about siege, I think. But throughout my career, I kind of got to separate those times, like to have a time to relax because like siege the whole time just get like you're gonna get crazy, like, sometimes it's like I remember a time that I used to like every time I got to sleep, I used to dream about Siege. Like everything was Siege about me, so I was getting crazy. So nowadays, like I have a fiance, like I have my dogs, like I spend time with her, with them. So yeah, you gotta find like a few things to do outside the game just to stop thinking about it, because basically you will think about even though you try to not, but you have to find something that tries to distract your mind even for a while, because it's some you get to a time that you just like couldn't play the game out. Same by myself, like in Liquid, as I said, like Lagone is he's a genius in tactics and stuff like that, but there I think a bad thing about him is like he used to do so much, because I always were a player that used to like play the scrims, the VOD review, and after that I used to do some individual stuffs. But there was a time that after everything, I was just like I didn't want to play the game. I was just like wanna lay on my bed and like watch the ceiling or something like that, because I was just tired of everything.
You want to be a
Because
starfish on your bed. Just
it
No, I feel
was
that.
exhausting.
I realized that the most when Troy left and I took over like the IGL, and then it's like you become like a main spit, like you're doing the main lot of the preparation too, and you're watching all the kind of stuff, you're writing all these notes, like I had a notepad and all that kind of stuff. Then like I used to, when I first like went pro, like I was finishing scrims and playing ranked for like 3-4 hours after, because I lived with my parents still. I had no responsibilities. I literally just, I woke up, practiced, played ranked, went to sleep, rinse and repeat. But as Paluh was saying, you get older and you have more responsibilities, like a partner, a dog, and I think it's healthy to have these sort of things, because if it's not going, if you have a bad day at work, it's like anyone, let alone esports, like you want something like to just completely like take your mind off work, and like so it's like a reset, like a whatever it is, like a dog and all that kind of stuff. It's like what I was saying to Carl when I was in America. I think one of the hardest things for me was being away from my dog, because it was just he's like a big part of my life, and like when I'm spending 3 months in America, coming back for a week, I felt guilty, because it's like I'm coming back for a week, he sees me for a week, then I'm gone again. He's gonna think I'm a stranger. So I think it's really big to have those getaways from the game. Also, one thing that's been a pain in the ass ever since scheduling, like trying to go on a holiday, trying to book a holiday or something like that, is
It's impossible.
God. It's like
I have like I wanna watch some concerts, but I can't, because I don't know if I have a match on the day. I can't schedule anything, so I just give up. So
I know, and then you wait to book a holiday after an event, and then it's twice the price.
yeah.
Just come to content. It's so much nicer. You just do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Have you guys considered retiring and just being like reaction streamers? That's a great life. It really is. This is something that I've, being an older guy here who, like, I didn't start casting till I was 27. Neither of you are that age. You are both younger than that. And it's like, I know when I was younger, I'd go to university. I would work a 40-hour job. I'd be in a full-time class. I would do extracurriculars, and I would still see my friends. I never stopped. Now I don't want to start. I love lying like a starfish on my bed. I went earlier today to a card convention. I don't like cards, but my buddy does. I offered to go with him. I got home, and the first thing I did was just flop on the bed. It was great. And you need that separation. You need to be able to like have friends. You need to be able to have other hobbies. You need to have distractions, because if all you know is this job, it'll slowly make you hate it. And it's like, to your point, like if the only game you play is Siege and it's also your job, how do you relax? What are your hobbies? If you don't have a dog, if you don't have a partner, like where do you find that release when you're stressed about Siege? What other games do you play? Do you go see some friends for a beer? Do you go for a walk? Do you play sports? Like I, as an older guy, try to tell every single younger player, you need to diversify. Don't make your whole life your job, because eventually one day Rainbow Six will not be your job, or you won't want it to be your job, and you're going to want to do other stuff. Start now. Start finding other hobbies. It's really important.
You said about something fun. Like my fiance used to play Siege also,
Yeah.
but I cannot play with her. No, it's impossible. Dude, I can't mix. Like I've tried a couple times. Like it's no way. Like we play other games like co-op stuff, but like Siege, it's no way. Just
Yeah.
can't.
My girlfriend loves Valorant. There's no amount of money she could make in a month to pay me to play Valorant. Like there's no way. It's not happening. So
It's just a weird outlook that people have on it, because it's like, imagine if like you worked a normal 9 to 5, you wouldn't want to come home and then carry on your normal 9 to 5, would you? Like I
No.
know, like don't get me wrong, we're blessed to do what we do. We play a video game. Like I'm very lucky, but like there's days where like let's just like for a normal person, they wouldn't want to go from their office job and think, you know what, I'm gonna go pretend I'm back on my office job for a few more hours. It's just that's what I have to tell. That's what I have to tell my parents some days, because it's like I know it's a video game, but it is actually a job.
You finish your job, and then you come home and you fire up one of like the office simulators on Steam, and you just sit there and play that for a couple hours answering emails. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. No, I feel I feel that. I have volunteered to help my buddies like run his record shop. I love music. I listen to music all the time. I have a lot of records. Like I usually put them on. I'd come home and I have no desire to either listen to music or put on a record, because I just did that for like 8 hours. So it's like having that separation is important. So going back just to where we were about both of your teams, sounds like Team Liquid, you over prepared a lot. You ran out of gas. You were tired. You played a lot of matches. So with DZ, what happened with DZ? When Troy left, I think it is fair to say the team took a small step back. What happened there? You had to make the adjustment to IGLing in North America on a team that, I don't know, I think it's fair to say you weren't brought on to eventually become an IGL. Do you think that's a fair thing to say? Like you didn't expect this, right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean that was never
Yeah.
I was never like, I'm going to. Obviously, I did a fair share of it on M&M, so like I had some sort of experience with doing it. But like though, yeah, it was never my intention to come over and take that role.
So what happened? How was that adjustment? Like, because you did call with Troy, right? Like you were also an active voice when he was on the team. How did you transition to that? Did you find that to be tough? And what did that do to the rest of the team?
I mean, yeah, it definitely was an adjustment, to say that. Like, I feel like, you notice it across the board with like I think the main notice is like it affects your individual performance the most, because the amount of talking and thinking you're trying to do for other people, it definitely takes a toll. And I definitely got a few white hairs coming through, which I started to notice. But I think it was definitely stressful, and as I said, it makes me respect a lot more people that are in that kind of role. But like I enjoyed it, because like, as I think Carl will also acknowledge, like I had a big input on like the strategic side of the game. So I thoroughly enjoyed like have a good understanding of the attack and the defense, and like the rotations, all this kind of thing. So I already had like a good concept of like how the game works, kind of at the top level. So I think it was like a nice experience to do it in a top team and in a good organization like DZ with the backing. The big thing for me was that they trusted me to take over that role, which I was grateful for. But yeah, definitely stressful.
Kyle, I don't know if you have anything to add here, but just as a personal note, the one thing I wanted to say about you was you and I are not like super close. We don't really know each other all that well. We've talked, of course, at events before. But I will say, I've never been in your shoes, but I can only imagine how challenging it was to do all of what you just said, while also you have a very vocal part of the community, like banking on your downfall. You've got all these people who think that you are responsible for Troy getting taken off the team. You have all of these people who already don't like DZ as an organization. And you probably were like the lightning rod. And the way that you seem to keep your head up and trudge through that, even with all the bullshit and the noise in the background, I don't know about other people. I won't speak for them, but it earned a lot of respect for me, at least. Like you seem to handle all of that adversity, all of the changes with like grace and a lot of maturity. And I think it's something that if you're not proud of it, I hope you are, because I think you like shitty and weak people could have easily succumbed to that and spiraled out of control. I don't know what happened on DZ. I don't know what you were like as a person behind the scenes, etc. But the fact that I've never heard anything bad about you, from players, and what I saw from you with my own eyes, I think the way you handled it was quite frankly terrific.
Glaze sesh.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, glaze
No,
sesh.
no. Like, look, I know sometimes people get a little uncomfortable when nice things are said about them. I get that. I do not take compliments or anything like that well. If somebody said what I just said to me, I would probably just be sitting here being like,
I agree with what you said.
I don't know if you've ever consciously thought about that, because there are human moments that happen. Like, this is a job, it's a video game, but you are still a real person. You still clock out, you still have feelings, you still presumably care about how people think of you. And I gotta say, you gained a lot of, I already respected you, but you gained a lot of respect in my eyes for the way that you handled that. I think a lot of people would have blown up and you did not.
I'll continue on the glaze sesh a little bit. Because you just talked about like having to shoulder on the strategy and everything like that, which was absolutely true. There was very few people I've ever trusted the strategy to, and that was like Troy, Brandon, and myself. I always thought the three of us were just geniuses, and that the only two I would listen to. So when Nafe came onto the team, I knew right away, like, this guy understands the game at a high level. So I was very impressed with you. Also, like, one of the things we were looking for to join DZ was like, we interviewed a lot of people. We talked about this on the podcast before. Some 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, you're doing interviews with these people. They don't know how to do laundry and do a bunch of stuff. I mean, Nafe, I forget how old you were when you joined the team, but like one of the most professional interviews that I've actually sat down with. And this is when I realized the difference. I won't talk Brazil here, but between EU and NA at the very least, like the big difference between like a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old. Because our 19, 20-year-old can't even do laundry. You got to help him put a sock in. Nafe's 20 years old, has, like you just mentioned, like, you had a house, you had a partner with a dog, like you and your brother were into the house together. Like, it was very professional. So it's no surprise to me actually that you were able to kind of like shoulder this. Plus your sports background. This guy, he sat downstairs at 5 a.m. to watch Arsenal play. Huge into the sports background.
Bad times, not worth it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. Anyways, I think you were able to handle it well, and like you also do know too, a lot of it is narrative, right? The whole Troy versus you thing. I mean, heck, even when I left, it wasn't even towards you, but it was more so like anytime you leave DZ, anytime you get cut, it's fuck DZ, right? Fuck more so the organization for me, but that kind of thing. But yeah. I do think you were able to handle it about as well as you could.
Yeah.
But I want to know though, because me being on the team, I knew that you were actually you came on with Beaulo. Both of you guys were option B, going back to that, right? Technically, we wanted to use this in Solotov, couldn't get them because they wanted to go play with Shaiko for some reason. This guy can't even speak English.
Tell me about it.
Anyway,
They go drop him.
And then they go drop him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great point, Nave. Great point. So anyway, we get stuck with you and Beaulo. Like, what a complimentary, piece to the puzzle. But anyway, you guys came on, like, changed the vibes on the team. We were like really kind of like quiet. You watched DZ. We were kind of like robots. You guys brought a lot of personality, which I don't think a lot of people got to see behind the scenes. You and Bo were like real jokesters. He obviously, after my time, and probably because I left, no, I'm just kidding. He ended up retiring, which we kind of knew for a little while.
Yeah.
But like, how hard did that hit you? Because I know how hard it is to lose someone close onto the team. When I had Hot and Cold retire, I was like fucking distraught, didn't know what to do. You and Bo were extremely close. Was that hard for you?
Yes, as much as I hope he doesn't watch this, but
yeah, I know.
Yes.
He was, by the way, he was almost on this show with the two of you. When our two guests dropped off, I went straight to his DMs and he was like, "Oh, I'm busy, I can't." And I was like, "Damn."
Thank God he's on there for this question. No, yeah, it was rough. Like, as I said, I came into like a completely different environment. I didn't know what to expect. Teaming with like Americans and Canadians, but like me and him were just gelled straight away. Like, for a guy that like has his sort of profile, like he's, everyone knows who he is. Like, he's the most humble, nicest guy you can be around, and he's funny as well. So I'll give him that. But obviously, when he left, like we knew it was going to happen. prior to like everyone else did, because like he told us he was going to become a dad. And I said, what's the problem? Hop on ranked. I don't care. But he ended up still leaving. But like obviously, first of all, you think about like the person you're losing, as in like the teammate, and like the kind of like he was my roommate for every single event, and we just as I said, we got on like a house on fire. And then you think about the actual player you're losing, like, and there's not many people that have had his sort of career and like are mechanically as gifted as he is. And also, as I said, it goes back into the person he is, like being that just great teammate. I'd hand on heart say he's probably the best teammate I've ever had. Like, you know, you would never hear a bit of any negative vibe out of him. We could be getting smashed in a scrim 10-1. That guy will still be trying to make jokes. He's just one of those guys you always want in your team. So I think that was the bigger hole to fill, honestly, like personality wise and just vibe wise. But Kobe, when we picked up Kobe, Kobe definitely, yeah, he definitely brought some vibes. I'll tell you that.
I think, Kyle, I don't know if you planned this. If you did, you're a genius. And those watching right now, you have to thank Mint for being a genius here. But I had a question stored for Paluh about another very mechanically gifted player who is a legend in the scene, Nesk. I was going to ask Paluh what it was like teaming with him and how, Paluh, you felt ultimately leaving Nesk and now seeing him retire. And this is as perfect a transition as you could have asked for. So claps for Mint. Paluh, you got to team with Nesk and you spent a lot of time together. It seemed like you guys were friends, you were teammates for so long. What was that like?
It was awesome years. Like I used to watch him, like Zig. I even retired him.
You did retire Zig? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But just kidding. Yeah, it was awesome. Like he's just a chill guy. He's probably as Beaulo. He's always making fun, trying to rise the. How can I say, to let things.
To
Forgot
keep
the
things like
word.
light, to keep the
Yeah,
mood
yeah,
high.
keep
Yeah,
things
yeah.
light. Yeah. So yeah, it was like great years. Of course, some ups and downs, but yeah, very fun. Great times, great times. Like, as you said, like I still talk with him. We sometimes meet ourselves, like make some barbecue or stuff like that. Yeah. He's a friendship that I hope to take throughout the years.
What was it like leaving him? Because eventually there was like this almost like public breakup. Like Liquid, for so many people, was Nesk. And then here you come. And now it's Nesk and Paluh, Nesk and Paluh, Nesk and Paluh. That is Liquid. And then Paluh is gone. And you're not playing with him anymore. Was there like, from like either a professional standpoint or just like a personal standpoint, was it sad? Was it emotional? Like, was it time for you to go? Were you like, okay, like it's time for something new for me?
Actually, I think it was past the time. I should have left maybe early, but it's hard to say because it like I had the decision, but I just didn't leave earlier. But how can I say? I don't regret it because it was great, like to be here. But I was on a comfort zone, let's say. I was already with a feeling inside me that wasn't like things weren't going well for the past, let's say, year or something like that. So yeah, it always like poked on my mind, like maybe should I leave? But yeah, like as I said, I entered a comfort zone that it was bad for me. And at the end, like we had the 2000, it was Boston Major. No, yeah, it
SI.
was Boston Major.
Boston
Boston
SI.
SI. Sorry.
Yeah, Boston SI.
My last event, like we played really bad there, so it was. I'm not sure what happened behind like the. As a team, they said to us that everyone was going to be benched, basically, and they were going to the market to see the options. That was what they said, right? So I'm not sure exactly if they were already thinking anything. So yeah, like so everyone was like, I started looking for some options. I found like a W7M, that there were other like things that approached me, but I didn't even like go further because I really got interested in W7M, like what they offered me, like the thing they have like won the Montreal Major like a couple months before. So yeah, that was basically it. And no, it was nothing. I never had like anything personal. Like I left like the staff like Sensi, Rafa that also left Liquid recently. Like
Yeah, he just retired,
everyone.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but yeah, he left Liquid also. But like keeping going. Yeah, just have like Liquid always support me with everything. They are like a great organization, and I was really happy like for the years I spent there. Just the only thing I regret is like to lift a trophy with Nask. Like we have got there so many times, and for like it's just sad. But
I don't usually care about which teams win, but I've said on this show many times, and I will now say to you directly, I have always wished I could have casted Liquid winning a major or an SI when you and Nesk were on that team. It is something that I don't have a lot of wishes in my career. I don't have a lot of like regrets, and obviously you can't regret something that didn't happen. But I would have loved to have seen it, and you know, you guys. I mean, I guess technically you won the Allied Esport or the OGA Pit technically, so you did
yeah,
technically lift a trophy together. But I know it's probably not
yeah, not
probably
what
not the one
we
you wanted to lift.
desire.
Yeah. This for the record, Rafa, who he's talking about, who used to be the GM of Team Liquid, he is now the head of LATAM's Evo wing. So Evo, the giant fighting game tournament, he is the head of Evo's LATAM department, as far as I can see, and he's been tweeting a lot about Evo and FGC stuff, which I think is a huge leg up. If you don't watch Evo, and if you are a viewer of this podcast, honestly, there's a lot more similarities between like the FGC and the pacing of their matches and Rainbow Six. There's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of like talking about tech. I think you should watch Evo if you didn't, but that's just a side note. And Palu, just last question, because you've actually now transitioned us back to talking about the current teams, which is excellent. What was it like seeing Nesk retire? Was it emotional for you?
Yeah, definitely. He has been thinking about it for a while. But he wasn't never sure because he enjoyed so much playing. Like it's hard for everyone. Like gladly he always were close to the community. He always were like a great personality. So he's still around. Like he's streaming. He's doing content. So yeah, I still met him as I said like offside, off like the screen time, but like also on like interviews, like he's always with Raza now, like doing interviews, watching the game. So yeah, he is a great person.
He definitely hasn't kept a low profile. You know, he retired, and then I immediately saw him at the very next event, co-streaming every single match with Raza, and I was like, okay, well, you're still here. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're not gone. It's not like you've disappeared. Beaulo still streams. He actually, I believe, he's streaming literally right now while we are doing this episode, which is why he was unable to attend. But I just think, you know, I'm of the age now where the people that are starting to retire in like the sports I watch were drafted around the time that I became of the same age. All the people I watched growing up, they've retired. Now it's like the guys that were like my age are starting to retire. That's making me feel old. I can imagine that people that have been watching since day one, seeing guys like Nesk start to retire, seeing Fabian eventually retire, move over to coaching, a lot of these guys dropping out of the scene. It's got to be a reminder of how long we've been going as an esport, but also probably a reminder of everybody's mortality. Like we are all aging and it never really slows down. And eventually there will come a time. You guys are both young. You're 24 and 26 respectively, 24 for Nafe, 26 for you, Palu. It's like you guys are eventually going to retire, and there are going to be fans who are like, shit, I've been watching these guys play since day one. So it's a crazy reminder of how fast time goes by and the fact that we never really slow down. So, Kyle, speaking of old and retired,
every episode, even the comments are noticing now. Like literally, they're like, "Man, why is Parker always got to throw a shot? You're older, man. You're older."
But I always remind people I'm old, man. I always remind
36. Paul is 10 years younger than you. Isn't that
36
crazy?
in 2 months. I turned 36 in 2 months. I am 10 years older than you, Palu.
That's crazy.
The newbies are 18. In 2 months' time, I will be double the age of the people making their debuts. I might as well be dead. So
Right. Jason.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay.
So I had to throw in my case and my
Well, your turtle
quota.
bullshit comes later. Okay. So
I've watched
back
a
to
few
you,
of
Nafe.
these, and every single time I've watched one, there's a case mentioned from
Yeah.
fucking Carl.
Every
I'm
time.
hired. I have to throw it in there.
I hope you are. I hope you are getting paid for this propaganda.
He's got Kaysen's got him in his pocket. He's just like shuffles some dollars over to Mint just to talk about him every time.
June 8th, by the way. Go ahead.
So this is a good time to talk about how you ended up on your current teams, right? So with DZ, there's rumors going into SI in Paris that there's about to be a massive sea change in North America. I suppose you can kind of tell us, did you know that there would be so much upheaval in NA at the start of this year? And when did you start thinking, maybe I go back to Europe? If you want to share.
Yeah, I'll start with your first question. I probably wasn't expecting the amount of shuffle that has happened in NA. And considering how this stage has turned out, I think it's even crazier with JJ getting number 1. I did not have that on my bingo card. But I think. So, what was the second part of the question?
It was when did you start to think you wanted to go home? Because Dash got homesick. He went home. Ben also went home. Citizen went home. Like
it probably started kicking in after the Boston SI. I think it was kind of like a pile of things. Like there was some personal stuff going on in my life, and also like the whole Troy situation, like all that situation. Just like we didn't play great at the SI. I think we came 10 to 12. That Boston SI, so we kind of had a bad event, and it was just like, it's kind of it takes the edge off it if you're playing well and you're like going far in these events. But when it sounds like very selfish, and obviously I don't have this mindset, but it's like when like you're sacrificing so much of like your personal life to go play over in a different region, and you're not like reaping the reward of like playing like like getting to these events and making it far, and it starts to build up. So I think I definitely got a bit of a breath of fresh air, I'd say, when we picked up Zach and Ben, and like the start of Reload. Like it was like we were feeling really confident, and like we thought, I was thinking, what, this is, if we're gonna win something, it'll be like with this team. A Reload went good. I guess the format, as people said, was questionable. Like it was on our it was on.
I gotta say something about the format. No one wanted to play us. We almost missed the playoffs. You heard about it? That's no, but we didn't got picked. Like we haven't played anyone like for 2 or 3 days, and we almost got like eliminated. It was just like, bro.
It's maybe not as bad as you, but we didn't get to pick once at all. We got left to the last pick every single day.
Yeah, it was a great tournament.
I loved co-streaming it from home. It was great. It was great.
It was definitely a funky format, but and to be fair, Rio was a lovely place, so I would not mind the SIs there, right? This next year.
We know it's in Brazil, but I don't think they've said
they're probably
where.
going to São Paulo, isn't they?
It could be. I can't remember.
Sao Paulo would make sense. I honestly I've been to both. I think Rio is. I haven't been to Rio outside of like summer, but Rio is just like a cool coastal beach town from where we were, and it was like that was awesome. Sao Paulo is cool too, but it's just like a big city.
Yeah.
Like I preferred like the mountains and the beaches.
Yeah.
The thing is that São Paulo is better. Look, it's better for the people to come, because it's way. And people have some like thoughts about Rio, so they are more concerned about because of
crime and stuff. Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I know. I've heard that Rio is technically scarier if you don't know where you're going, but
yeah.
The favelas.
Yeah.
But no, Rio is beautiful. I enjoyed
No, yeah.
that event.
There are some great places. You just need to be what's the word, like be careful and and like don't like, as I said, one of my friends got robbed in Rio because he was with the windows open, like going through the center of Rio, like with his phone like almost outside the window. So like that's something that should be like take care of.
Yeah, we
So
got
we
told
might go back to Sao Paulo, but you're talking about Rio and
Yeah.
Reload, Nave.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I left off at. So I think Reload, like it was a really positive event for us. Like I feel like we were one of like the very few teams that were like really abusing the new ban system, especially bringing on a player like Spirits. Like he was, as Carl said, probably the best cheese player at the time. Like I remember we played, were they FURIA at the time? Yeah, the FURIA. They won the event.
Yeah.
I
It was their
remember playing
first
on-
event as FURIA.
Yeah, like I think we just lost to W7M. I think 8-6 on club, and then we played Furia the day after, and we I think 7-3 them or something like that. And I remember just Zach on Ying shotgun. Like from an EU person, I would never even be thinking about Ying shotgun. And then when you see it in person, I was thinking this shit's broken.
Okay, hold on a second here. Though to me, the Ying shotgun that comes to mind. Kyle, do you have this? Are we sharing the same?
Anaton?
Who is it? What?
Anaton?
No, well, Hungry.
Sure.
Like
Hungry.
To me, Hungry was the Ying shotgun.
The border highlight.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
That was normal gun.
Was it?
That was normal Ying gun.
Yeah, it was normal gun. It was normal gun.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Ying
was.
normal gun. Come on, Parker.
But okay, hang on.
Yeah.
I didn't cast that.
I
just simply forget. I forget the games I don't cast. They're not important. No, but he used to play Ying shotgun, especially on Bank. I remember early in the days. Like that clip might not have been Ying shotgun, but like he ran it so frequently. Anderson did too. But I mean, we've got to give APAC their credit then, because they were also like the first region actually using Finca. They were like the first region that kept trying to use Blitz. Like they didn't do it very well, but they tried, and then all the other regions caught on. I was like, man, you even played against Hungry. He's back.
Hungry was a weird one. He was just like one of those guys you scrim and it's just annoying. Like he would pick Castle just to pick Castle. Like it'd be the most random site, and he'd like just put the most random castles down, and just that was just Hungry. Or Maestro. I don't know if you scrimmed Hungry's team in the last year or two, Paluh, but he has a Maestro fetish. Like Labs. I remember this. Labs top floor defense. You know how teams like to plant the pillar, like when they get in through the con bridge. He would impact the hole to basement, and put a Maestro cam in basement, so it would see all the way to top floor to deny the plant. And that just sums up Hungry. He'll probably be watching this thinking, like putting his feet up, thinking, "Yeah, that's me." But this is the sort of yeah, he's definitely a cheese person, player, whatever you want to call it.
You get your own cheesy player, so you've got Spirits. He's playing Ying shotgun.
Yeah.
You're baffled.
In general, we were just like abusing it all. Like Ben was like a really good Deimos at the time, and like it was like teams were just picking their poison against us. Like you either ban a Shield or Ying or Deimos, and
I think
we're just good at
Unwanted
that.
started to be like that annoying meta.
Yes,
Like
100%.
Unwanted started at a side, like you banned Shield, he was like pushing always like Ying and stuff like that. And nowadays there are so many operators that are annoying to play.
Oh, Unwanted. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I said everything happens for a reason, because I think Kyle literally landed in the perfect place he could have done with that Unwanted team. He always wanted the cheese player. I got when we kicked Troy, I had to go on the shields. I'm not that guy on the shields. Kyle can fully well back that, and then he got probably the best shield player in the game.
I mean, arguably, I had 3 of the best shield players in North America, because Matt was always a really good fucking Montane.
Yeah.
Dream's really good at Blackbeard. Spirits can play it all. I mean, that was a career revitalizer for me, because I actually got to play with some cheese players who want to play the game the way I did want to play. So that was nice. But anyway, you had Zach. You guys were cheesing everybody, the Deimos, like you said. What happened after that? Because I talked to Kenny a good amount, your guys' former coach, Kangaroo Kenny, whose name's not even Kenny.
I know, weird one.
I was so taken aback by that when he's not Australian and his real name's not Kenny. And I was like, what is happening here? Like,
it's because he went to holiday in Australia. I don't even know where the Kenny even comes from now I think about it, but I know the kangaroo comes from Australia. But you'd have to ask him about it.
Yeah, and every time I get into a call with him, I think I ask every time. But his name's Ryan, though, for those who are curious. So anyway, I've talked to him about it, but yeah, what kind of happened after reload? Because it seems like you guys were loving all the cheese, and then a flip switched, and I saw none of it.
Well, it was after Saudi, because we had a good stage one. Like we came second, we lost to SSG, and then we went to Saudi and we literally like bombed out. I think we lost to the current bleed. I can't remember if they were on the bleed at the time, but
Might have been Team Joel, whatever name they were on.
It was that.
Yeah.
It was that.
Right.
Honestly, I think it was the main like stumbling point was just the mental side of the game. Like, you know, there was like, I guess, a lot of bickering and like, I guess, voice, like a lot of opinions flying around. Like you know, Kyle, that Rob Pamba, from an outside perspective, like he seems like a very quiet guy, but he is a very opinionative person. And then obviously, like I'm opinionative as well. When I'm calling, Zach's opinionative because he wants like to play the cheese and play around him, all that kind of stuff. So I think there was a lot of opinions going around, and I think fundamentally we weren't that good at Saudi because like we were just so reliant on these cheese ops, and like the game was so easy when like you just throw like ban ward and throw like ying someone, Deimos track back, like you ban mute Deimos track. But when this stuff wasn't working, like our fundamentals of like actually having like good team play to like clear positions or, you know, adapt on the spot when these power ups were banned, like because teams like adapted to like play against shields, and teams started banning Ying and Deimos, and then we like if they were countering the shields, like you were like kind of not really, you didn't really have like the power ups that you wanted, so it became a different game. And so like it was like a decision from Ryan, and I don't think it was like a bad one, but I guess if you look back at it, I guess you could like you say maybe he could have gone a different way, but like he wanted to focus on the fundamentals of the game, like so, you know, just the step A, B, C to try and, you know, like because like once you get that down, like then you can implement like the cheese stuff and, you know, the fast plays and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's where it started going a bit downhill because after, like as you said, stage 2 there wasn't really any cheese. We were kind of playing default, and like the game's like how old is it now? 10 years. Everyone knows how to play against the default attacks and defenses. Like you can't. The game's so complex nowadays. You can't afford to play like that. And I think it definitely bit us in the arse a bit. And then after that, it was it after that? Yeah, we had a bad stage 2, missed out on the major, and then Rob left us because he had burnout, as we were talking about earlier, and that was kind of definitely a shock. I would guess I think for a lot of people, including us, and it was kind of similar to like the Troy situation with like pickups. Like obviously, no offense to Kobe, but like he was very young at the time. He was a rookie, and a lot of teams wasn't like trading players before an SI or all that kind of stuff. And we had kind of similar predicament with Rival, and we didn't have a lot of time either to fill him into the team. But I do think Rival's a good player, and I think if given time and the right resources around him, he'll be good. But yeah, like then we and on top of all that, we had a lot of mental issues, I would say, and we did start working with a mental coach, but I think it was a little too late for that kind of stuff. We were fighting against ourselves, let alone the other team.
Did Team Liquid ever have anybody to come in and help with your mental?
Yeah, we had Claudio for a couple of years. Yeah, like ever since I joined, I've actually like Claudio was with us. He really helped us like throughout the years. There was sometimes that the mental, especially I think the confidence is a thing that gets a lot like to the right now. Actually, it was one issue here in Fluxo. It was the thing that got to us, like the mental. If you are not like feeling well, like feeling well with yourself, especially, I think it's gonna get to you at some point. So yeah, you have to be like mental ready for everything. So yeah, that's definitely the the point that people doesn't think it is important, but can like defeat you before the match starts. You know.
I imagine that getting so close, and I really do hate to harp on this, and I'm not trying to like rub it in. I hope you don't take it that way, but like I imagine how close you guys got time and time again, just like Falcons, by the way, constantly making the finals and then just ultimately not winning it. I imagine that has an effect on your confidence, right? Like it must. Like you must worry or have that kind of nagging doubt in the back of your mind where you're like, oh shit, we're in the finals. Can we finally do it? Can we do it this time? Can we do it this time? And that must be hard to break.
Yeah, definitely. Confidence is like even like going through a video, you have to be confident like in your choices. Sometimes like teams opts like just for the coach to choose the maps, or sometimes the IGL. So some teams like work as a unit, like everyone has a vote. But yeah, like sometimes if you get like too many it's actually a thing that gets discussion, because if you open to the team, people can have different like opinions. So what are you gonna choose? Like someone is gonna like, okay, that's the best for the team, or someone's gonna stay like, how can I say, oh, they won't take my opinion. So yeah, there are so many options that you can choose. But yeah, talking about the finals, definitely like if you are not confident, it's gonna punish you, because the game is so different going through like great runs, long runs, because it gets to the point that everyone knows what you're gonna do. You have to like do something different, and you need confidence to do something different. You know that if you are sometimes if you just like have a second thought, it's the time that you lost to do a play or something, and yeah, it kind of punishes you.
So, in keeping with where our conversation is heading here, and I'm enjoying hearing these stories from both of you, but our viewers might be a little annoyed that we have not yet touched on Salt Lake City. That is still going to come. We will eventually get to the teams that have made it, but I think that both of you have great stories to tell, and I don't want to stop you because I read the comments. And sometimes people say that I interrupt people. I have never done that in my life. I am innocent, but in this instance, I will heed their words, and I will say, so you talked about Fluxo W7M. You talked about confidence. How confident are you on this roster right now? How different is this current team with or without Volps? And how different is it from when you were on Liquid?
All right, so those are way different things. So let's start with Liquid maybe. In Liquid, like we always were like more of how can I say in English, but like a step by step thing. Like we had our thing to do on each step of the play, let's say. Like so it was way different, because when Volps joined the team, he used to play on W7M that was way adaptive. They were always like changing things, playing fast, slow. And for him it was a tough difference for him to adapt to it. But he was playing well individually, same. But yeah, things didn't work. Like me and him also were having like at the time some, not fights, but we were like discussing about a lot about the game, like how things should be played or not. Anyways, like some discussions, but never like got too personal. Actually, he was the one who invited me to Flux to W7 at the time. Like there were some histories, especially about the GG, like on the the SI, like that he write on the chat. But yeah, like nothing went to personal, but it was like a stressful year because things weren't going well. Like in practice, we couldn't focus on. There are times that you can focus. You if you are spend too much time on stuff like outside the game, it's really bad, because sometimes you have like 1 or 2 weeks of preparation, and you have to like uh use that time to fix like other things, like people like me and him having like those kind of arguing. So yeah, it was getting really tired, because we were like wasting so much time about those things. Not even with me, like he was like he always were a person that likes to give also his opinion, you know. So yeah, things weren't going well because he didn't also like the way we were playing. Like as I said, like he was more of adaptive player, and after like he left Liquid, he was the IGL of the other lineups that he was playing. And yeah, like the other part of the question was how was
The other question was, how are you finding this current Fluxo W7M
okay,
team without Volps, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
Because now he's gone, right? He's gone to the FURIA roster,
yeah.
and now you've got a new IGL presumably and a new identity.
Yeah, so keeping going. Since I joined Fluxo, there was like a completely shift for me, especially on the playstyle. Like they sometimes we just like do what we just create something around. We are really adapting. Like you can study, of course, there are a few things that you're gonna play default. There's nothing you can run about it. But Vopes especially, he likes to he just thinks a lot of things inside the game. Bits. How can I say? During the match, like he thinks about something and he's gonna call. It can be like a really shitty strategy or it can work out, but like it's always unpredictable, you know. So yeah, it's a really different style for me. The couple of the when I joined at Reload, like and the screens, it was a little hard because sometimes they were playing really fast, so I was trying to like adapt. But yeah, like 1 or 2 weeks going through, I kind of got used to it, and even join like just calling stuff sometimes, like because it's how the game works right now. Like you have to be unpredictable because if you do like the default, as Nafe said, like it's really easy to deal with. You just like play the how can I say the cross?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
cross
yeah.
cut mailbox. That's what North America calls it. Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. Like, and after at this SI, Dots got in charge of the IGL because Vopes wasn't feeling. He wasn't. He got. We got him to know that he was like. We decided that, and he decided that he was leaving the team. So like, for him to get more comfortable, and also Dots was going to get in charge of the IGL after. We started before the SI, so Dots got in charge, and Vopes was playing like lighter also for him. It was good for him too. So yeah, the biggest difference right now is like uh how can I say? We started the screens when Cons joined us. It was good, but kind of we were, as I said, like dealing with some stressful things during the screen. So we weren't like using all the time we had to focus on strats and those things. And especially when you have like a new player, it hurts too much because you have like uh maybe a week, 2 weeks, depends on the schedule that you have, and you can change too much things. And if you don't prepare yourself well, you won't be feeling confident if things aren't working well at the screens. So even though we beat Loud at the first game, like it was 7-1, we knew that like we weren't on our best shape, let's say. And going through the other matches, it kind of just blow on our faces. Like we lost two in a row. Like I think it was NIP and FURIA, and was two matches that hurt us really well. But those show us a lot of our mistakes that we were really fixing them during the. I think we had a week to until our last game that was against INTZ, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we fixed a lot of things. We could have like we spent a lot of time doing like focus on what we needed to do. And yeah, we like went to the playoffs and we could beat Face. Like it was a great game for us. It was like it built for us a lot of confidence that we were needing. But going through that, like the week after the other game was a shitty one, and it like we just lacked confidence again, and things went downhill. You know, yeah, it just show like it's so bizarre because we are like we were here, we went there, and it's so fast and it was so bizarre. Like the biggest choke was against Los. Like I think at Furia we were playing really well. I think tactically speaking we were even better than them, but they were shooting harder than us. So yeah, we kind of lost. Let's say it's a FPS after all.
Yep.
So yeah, but after that game, like we started really well against Los. We won our first map. It was Fortress, if I'm not mistaken. Then we went to Cafe. That actually we have had a lot of screens against them, and we never lost Cafe to them. And as we won like Fortress, I think it was kind of easy. Let's say it was a 7-2, 7-3. We kind of turned our energy a little down, and we got like punished on the first round because of it. But sometimes there was round after round, and at the beginning it's okay. Like we just have to do what we have planned. But when we got like too many rounds in a row, like I think the panic started and we just choked around. Like the rest of the match, it was just like bizarre to play because we couldn't do most of the rounds that we won after the cafe were like individual plays, like something like that, because things just like I forgot the word, but like it was like everything went down, like things weren't working, we weren't communicating well, we weren't winning fights, so we went to consulate. Like Paris had one of his, I think, the best map of his life, but the thing is
It was
not
a
about
life
it.
game from him.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
But that's not the point, because like there are some times that you play against a player that he's just shooting hard and you can do nothing about. But it was not the case. Like we were like getting vertical. He was getting like vertical kills. He was getting us like throwing gadgets. Like we were just like, it was the match that you can kill him. It's just a match that we were playing bad. Like he was just punishing us a lot because we were misplaying. It was just, yeah, it was a choke. It was a choke, let's say. Yeah. Unfortunately, it happened on the third map, the decider of the. But yeah, it happens. Like we had some conversations after, but we were a better team. Like you can say, like the video was great for us. Everything was better for us, but yeah, that's how things goes.
You had a really tough bracket. You had the bracket with Nip and Furia in it. You also had Loud in there, and Loud is I think a better team than the results suggested. And then your run, for those that didn't watch Brazil, you beat Faze Clan, which you already said, which was huge. Both your Furia maps were 7-5, 7-5. You cannot get closer than that without going to OT. Like that sucks, right? And then you beat Los map 1, and then Los just powered up. But I mean, Los qualified. They also looked pretty good against Faze Clan. Like this Los team has rapidly improved. And you're in the most competitive region. There's more than 5 good teams in Brazil, for crying out loud. Like you and the old Furia core, which is now Team Liquid Alienware, both failed to qualify, and both of you could easily replace a team, probably in NA, probably in Europe, definitely in APAC. Like, unfortunately, there's only 4 spots for Brazil, but you could probably send 5 or 6 teams from Brazil and nobody would bat an eye.
Yeah. Like they had a great grow up. Like I think Dash, he was playing at the wild card, and wild card was like a top tier. They were definitely on the meta, and he definitely like brought down a lot of the concepts they were using. So yeah, they are playing really well. Like yeah, it's hard nowadays. There, like the metas is so crazy that sometimes you see so many matches going like ENA. It was, I think, the bizarrest one, like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they just abuse everything they could,
Yep.
and they won the stage. That's it. Like
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how you're taking kind of the kickoff stage. Like, are you guys kind of also chalking it up maybe like format, just how quick it was? Because this is kind of a conversation we had, I think, a previous episode.
We talked about it. Like it was so quickly how things happened. We couldn't like even test a few things. We have so many maps that we haven't even played on those matches. The thing is, as I said, like the the bad thing that we couldn't review at the screens because we were focusing on other things were bad because we couldn't have like a lot of maps well revised well how can I say
Revised, yeah.
yeah
That
yeah
was
yeah
correct, yeah.
yeah it was so we weren't like feeling confidence. That's a thing that we play like the two best maps of Faze. We won like Consulate and Chalet, but we were kind of on a situation that we have to play them because if not, you're gonna play like a map that aren't feeling that confident, you know. So we got to a point that it was a tough thing, a tough decision, but it has to be done, you know.
Yeah.
And we won like it. We felt confident about it, and everyone was like up to it. But yeah, it got to a point that punished us because the video when you were playing a best of threes got way harder when you don't have like aren't flexible. Like you have to play some maps that, as I said, like you didn't have the best preparation or you are having some mistakes on it, and especially I think against who was it? Was FURIA? No, I'm not exactly. FURIA, yeah, FURIA picked Fortress against us. It was the first time that we played on the stage. We weren't like feeling really confident, but we were playing really well actually against them. As I said, like I think tactically we were better, but yeah, they are like a strong team individually. They do shoot really well, so yeah, they punish us on that point.
I actually want to go back real quick, just in case maybe I missed it, but during SI, you did make the change. You put dots as the IGL, right? And
Yeah.
Volps was not IGLing. Did you guys know? Because like that whole Furia rumor was coming out that there was going to be a super team involved. Did you guys know on
Yeah.
the team that this was possibly going to happen? Volps was going to be leaving you during
Yeah.
SI.
We already knew that was because that happened the change, like that was IGLing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Makes sense.
it wasn't like a thing that's a thing that some people try to avoid to talk, but it was like
Right.
really open. We talked about it to like everyone. We know that's the last time, but let's make it happen, you know. So everyone was focused despite the changes going after.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me because it's now that's like multiple times I'm hearing in Brazil how different the roster changes are there a little bit. Where even going back to like Igor making the changes on the original team when they were getting rid of forget who it was, but for Felipox and Nade. And they were bringing-
It was Julio and
Julio
Volps.
and yeah.
okay, so there we
Volps
go.
joined
But,
Liquid and Julio got to
but
coach.
that it was
Yeah.
kind of the last dance. You know, they were very open with it, at least rumored to be open with it. And then this change as well, because I feel like we don't do that in North America. It's very after SI. Group chat gets quiet for about a week and see you later. Pack your bags. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to like. It's a tough point because it can be affect the mental, but every time the player will know because the thing like people gonna talk like and if it gets like a rumor on his head and he's not like thinking about it, it's gonna be maybe worse, you know. So yeah, always like maybe talking, being open to it, it helps.
Right. And then you guys do get cons, which you mentioned. Was there anybody else kind of like on your guys' radar, or was it full on NIP? We want con.
No, we're actually we have a few options. We are not sure. Uh, we had like a few things that we were thinking. Like we could have brought someone more aggressive, but we were gonna have to change like a lot of roles.
Yep.
So we actually think even to take Nask at the time because we knew like he was living Liquid or he already no he already have retired, kind of retired now, right? So
Nask might have
the
come back. Is
That's
that what I'm hearing
interesting.
here?
Yeah. Wow.
Whoa, Nask might
the
have come
time-
back. Ooh. They never stay retired forever, right, Kyle?
Real quick. That would have been real quick.
The other options were we were waiting for there was like I don't know if you guys heard about it, but there were a rumor. It was like almost happened, but like Vita King, Cyber, Handy, Vopes, and Hertz almost made a roster in FURIA. Yeah,
Wow.
it was going.
Wow.
Wow.
It was going to be like really bizarre, but they almost made that change. They would won the second SI. Who knows? But yeah, almost happened that roster. And if that happened, we were not gonna try to get Souls from Faze, so he
Yeah.
was an option.
Top rated player of the stage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sheesh.
Um, and that was it. So we opted to cons because Vopes wasn't playing like aggressive roles. He was like doing some hold positions. But at the beginning, we just couldn't decide who was playing the, as you say, the cheese positions, like the shields or the ing, those operators. So at the beginning of the stage, we started in a way that we kind of changed it during it. Like it was like supposed to Dots played, but as Dots was IGIing, it's really hard for him to do those positions because sometimes he's not playing on the front of the play, so he couldn't like
Yeah.
had the to control the round like well. So we went back, like we kind of changed some roles like to a few persons, but yeah. So right now we went back to it like to see what we're gonna do, and let's see. But yeah, that was the tougher things that happened because it's really hard. Like Dots, especially for Dots, that he was new at the position, even though like we had a great SI, like but changing his position that he was doing well into cons kind of mix a lot of things, and we kind of lost ourselves a little bit on those changes.
Okay. Mr. Blue Microphone, you're doing a good job of hosting here. Do you
Thanks,
have any
man.
more?
Thanks.
I did notice the new pop filter. It's very nice. Why the change?
2 hours later. That's okay. That's all right.
I noticed it immediately. I'm just not going to spend the first 30 seconds of the episode talking about it.
I would love to transition to Nafe because I know we haven't talked to him in a while, but there's like one more question on the coach standpoint, Palu. Just because, I've transitioned to coaching later in my career. Does what interests me the most? And I'm really curious with your time. You've been able to work with some great coaches on Liquid, and then you got even Reduct near the end, who's doing a fantastic job over on Furia. And now you're working with, oh my God, I was hoping it would come to me right there.
Norris.
How do I forget Norris? Who's I think been voted like
Unbelievable.
I know, and I think he's actually been voted like a top coach for a really long time over there. So I'm kind of curious on your perspective now that you've been working with a lot of great coaches, like what kind of separates them and things like that.
That's a great question. Like, I think there are two types of coaches right now. I see clearly there are like more the tactical ones and the ones uh who manages people well.
Yeah.
They're like, and there are the people that has like the best coach is gonna be the mix of it. That's gonna be like the in the middle that will have to do the both things. And I had like, how can I say, at the beginning of my career I had like Silence on Liquid. He was like a great manager. He used to understand a lot of the game, but when like past the years, like he kind of lost a little of interest through the game, so he was kind of getting outdated. So the managing wasn't keeping him like on his best shape. So after I had, it was Yugo, yeah, it was Yugozard, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. So Yugozard, he was like really good at tactics, but he wasn't like, it was his first time as a coach, so it's understandable. So he wasn't like really well at managing people, but he got like through it throughout the time. And now like having Norris, he's like the, how can I say, is the point on the middle. Like he really understands about the game, but the most important thing is to manage people. Like he does it amazingly. Like he knows how to do with the people really well. He knows the time that he has to get involved, or sometimes he just like okay, let's see how it goes. Like even it's a fight or something, because the thing is like you have to know how to deal with people, especially like on a tournament that he won't be able to talk. He has to make people know that he always tell us like he doesn't want to pause to like fix a, let's say, a fight or something that's happening inside the server. He always tells us because like the preparation is for that, like we are not going like to the match to have an argue inside the match. Like keep our heads on the game. I want to use like my pause for like fixing an issue like staticky or like something like that. So yeah, like he does it really well. Like throughout the years, Norris has been the coach that does it the best way. Like he knows how to be the balance when like having a discussion. He's gonna be the person that's gonna like, all right, that this and or that, like it's gonna be this way. Like he does really well, and he is really. It's hard. Like I don't speak English almost the whole year. It's so hard when I get it
Your
because
English is fucking amazing. I am not accepting at all you complaining about your English. Or apologizing for your English. Your English is outstanding, brother. Do not apologize.
it's because like there are some words that I think in Portuguese that I can translate. I don't have like the exactly word, so it's hard for me.
No, man, you're
But
fucking killing it. Don't even.
yeah, but he he's a heartwarming guy. Like he's always like there for you, even though like you are going through a bad, let's say you're having a tough season individually. Let's say he's gonna like be the guy that's gonna be supporting you the most. Like he's gonna be there. Like he's gonna give you advices. He's gonna be like, even though like they're the coach part, he's like a big friend and he's gonna help you the way he can.
Yeah. And I think that's big, and that's definitely what I was kind of getting at. I think you're right. There's 100% two coaches. You're either the strategic coach or you're the manager, but finding the sweet spot. And it seems like Brazil's got a really majority of solid coaches now that we are seeing almost like what was the stat? I think Jesse may have posted like 60% of the T1 teams or whatever it was, over 50% has a Brazilian on their roster, which is absolutely insane. And it's a credit to your guys as a region for, I mean, obviously how well you play the game, but not only your strategics, also how you manage people, which is great. Would love to shift over to Nafe. Speaking of getting managed.
Thank you. Ooh.
He's waking up.
My bad. He's waking up. It's late over there, isn't it? It's like midnight. What are you looking at?
11 p.m. right now.
11 p.m. Okay. Well, I think last we talked was about you losing the greatest player of all time to ever play with you and grace his presence to you, Beaulo. And just kidding. Anyway, we fast forward a little bit after that. You got obviously the problems that you guys were having as a roster. What kind of happened after that? Right at the end of DZ, did you guys know that you were going to be splitting as a team? Did you know it was going to be your last event with them? And then how did you end up on Secret?
I think for me personally, like I'd spoken to Ryan just after we flew back after stage 2, just saying that like I was struggling a bit mentally, like with like being out there, like spending like I think I spent 6 months out of the 12th out in America. So he kind of knew that like I was more leaning towards coming home after this SI, no matter if we qualified or if we didn't. Obviously we didn't qualify in the end, but that's the whole story in itself. But I think for the rest of the team, I think everyone knew from like an outside point of view. Nick was definitely like they would have that guy headlocked. I don't think DZ would want to lose a guy like that. And I think for the rest of us, it was kind of like, anything could have happened. I spoke to Ben, like obviously, because he's obviously similar to my shoes. He's like sacrificing a lot of stuff, and like, he was kind of in the similar places to me. Like he's got a girlfriend, he's got his own like his animals, like his own house, that he misses. So he was in the same mindset of coming back too. And obviously, I think DZ even if we wanted to stay, I don't think DZ would have as you've seen, they've made good changes. Obviously, they just picked up the SSG lineup. So I think even if we wanted to stay, that wouldn't have been the case. But like it worked out well, I think for both parties. Like we wanted to go, and obviously they wanted to go in a different direction, understandably. And I think Brandon always, like BC, for anyone that's wondering, like he's always loved that like that SSG like work ethic, if you know what I mean. Like we always made jokes like imagine Rob in that environment.
Yeah.
But I know Brandon always loved that kind of their work ethic and the mentality kind of side of it with SSG. So I'm not surprised that they picked up that core. I'm more surprised that obviously like Ashen went to M80, to be honest. But I'm not surprised, that it ended like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also not surprised that you were eventually going to go back to Europe. I remember even when I was there, like a year, whatever you were on the team, it was always like a early conversation. Like he's going to want to go back home eventually. Like he has his own house. Your family's there. I don't think people realize what it is to be a transfer. Like you're literally giving up everything. You're just cooped up in a team house. DZ's one of the few with the team house. You're cooped up. I heard you guys picked up golf. You were so bored. Congratulations.
Oh, fucking Christ. Talking about golf. Fuck me, dude.
Hey, listen. Good hobby. We were talking about picking up hobbies outside of the game. That was a good hobby.
However, all right. You're right.
It was a bit of a shit show, to put it politely, considering Nick is the only one that's kind of played.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to keep up with it ever since I came back home. But yeah, as you're saying, it's like I don't think a lot of people do realize. It's just like it's quite a lonely job. I think even when you're at home, because like even if you got your mates, like the standard working hours, I think in the game is like you probably start around midday, 1 p.m. and finish around 8, 9 p.m. So like even if you want to go see your friends, like it's kind of hard, even if you're at home. But when I'm over the other side of the world, and like I don't have the small things that you take for granted, like having your own car so you can go out to the gym whenever you want or go to the shops whenever you want. It's like, and like staring at the same four walls like every single day, it became draining. So yeah, it definitely was it was rough on the mental side of things.
And it's like, for me, Parker, I think you brought this up before, actually. It might have been different when we were all living in Vegas.
Yes.
Right?
I
And
think so.
all the teams were like right next to each other. We were hanging out with multiple different teams. If you were an import, you'd have more people to kind of hang out with instead of just being cooped up in the hot Texas house. I also heard the last house you guys got in Houston, was it Spirits that told us like the AC did not work?
The AC.
So you must have been like, right back at home.
How?
To be honest.
Okay. Well, no,
With no aircon.
It worked. First of all, when we got in there, we didn't have the aircon didn't work. So then we bought like a portable aircon that went inside the windowsill. Okay. So that worked for a tiny bit. And then two things happened. One, the neighbors complained apparently because it was like visually not good for the neighborhood having a massive AC unit sticking out the window. But Zach did them a favor and lifted up the windowsill, and it just fell out the window, smashed on the floor to pieces. Bear in mind, this is like probably like $400, $500. And then the next 2 days of scrims, I'm not even joking. It's literally just sweat dripping down your face. mid map. That's what it was like, because it gets hot in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Let me guess. It was probably a relatively like hoity-toity, snooty neighborhood. There's a homeowners association. You got
that's what it is. Homeowners association. That's what complained.
Just the biggest fucking losers on the planet. And then they'll like come by and you'll have some fucking asshole come up and be like, actually, I measured your grass and it's 1/4 of an inch too long. You didn't cut it. I'm gonna write you up to the homeowners association. And I'm like, you are terminally unemployed and we should put you on a rocket and blast you into the sun.
I didn't even know the homeowners association was even a thing. If that happened in the UK, you'd just be told that, I don't even know if I can swear.
Of course.
Yeah.
You just get told to fuck off in the UK. But like I couldn't believe it when I heard about they're complaining about an AC unit.
It's like middle management for neighborhoods. It's just like, it's unbelievable. We don't really have those up here in Canada, thank God.
A lot of time to bother
Yes.
the other.
Yeah.
Well, and you pay for it too, don't you? You pay like upwards, like a couple hundred for that to be in the HOA. So you
Yeah, I
pay for
think so,
those
yeah.
guys to come knock on your door.
That's a
and yell at you.
racket.
Nice. I don't know what you guys were talking exactly, but you said about like game house and stuff like that. Here in Brazil, we kind of mostly abolish. There's no more like gaming houses. At the beginning, like on the first years of Siege here, there used to be like just gaming houses, but nowadays like there are mostly none, because it's as Nafe were talking, it's so stressful. Like here is it easier, even easier for us because like everything is just like on Brazil. Like we have to move sometimes to São Paulo because it's where the gaming house used to work, but we still we were on our country, so we could like I always work from São Paulo. For me, it was easier, but like I could like go to the office or to the game house, and then if I were too stressful, I'd just like go to home and like take some time off. But yeah, nowadays I play from home. We play from home. Sometimes we have to go to the office, and it is way better because even though you have like a stressful day, you can just like leave everything and like I will be with my dogs like right now and like just rest. Like keep my mind off the things.
That separation's important. It's really, really important.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, during COVID, when a lot of people were like trapped at home, they were saying the same thing. There's no like my work is like I wake up, I don't need to put on nice clothes. I put on comfy pants. I go sit at my desk. I work from home, and then I close my laptop at 5 o'clock, and I'm still here. Like so.
Yes. After we failed to qualify for SI, I literally just went to my room, and as you said, just literally stared at my ceiling for about a good hour because all I could do was walk outside and I just melt because it's about 40 degrees outside. Or I just sit inside and just, I don't know, throw a tennis ball at a wall or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, in the EU, are they kind of getting rid of like? Is there any team houses? Because I know in NA,
that's-
like they're definitely getting rid of them. I know DZ's one of the few. Wild card, maybe there's another one. But I feel like it's definitely it's interesting to hear like Brazil's kind of they're kind of going away.
Yeah.
I kind of relate it to maybe our scene getting a little bit older as the players are getting older too. Like a new scene, I think everyone was excited to have like boot camp houses and things like that, or team houses. I think it was really exciting.
Also
You look
money. I think money's a
also
big
money.
one too.
Yeah,
But-
there's the
yeah.
thing about money, but everything has like an old guy, and it's hard. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
have like
Yeah, exactly.
a person home waiting for him. Like it's hard. Like, even like at the time, yeah. Even Ziggy
Even a
at the
dog.
time, yeah. Even Zig at the time, it was like a thing that made him just like
Mm,
retire because
yeah.
it is impossible to like stay away for almost the whole year. Like,
Yeah.
of course, as I said, even in Brazil, that is easier because like it's city to city, not like country to country. But yeah, it gets like
Yeah.
exhausting.
No, I think we have a good spot now where a lot of teams will do like like a boot camp or something like right
Yeah.
before the event. They'll meet in like an Airbnb or something like that. But I know even like last year there was an org that wanted to sign us on Unwanted and they want us to move into a team house, and it's like it was a big reason we didn't sign with them because like we're all older, like you're saying, like no one wants to kind of do that thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a college frat house. Everyone was young and like got their college experience out, and
Yeah.
now we're ready to be adults. And
It was really fun. It was. I
fun.
have great memories, but yeah, like past like maybe 2 years, it just like I need to leave. I'm jail.
Yeah.
I
Don't
I
get me
will
wrong,
miss.
there are some benefits to it.
Yeah.
Like like a lot of stuff. Like we fixed a lot of stuff a lot quicker, and
Yeah.
like obviously because
Yeah.
you're not at home, you don't have any of the responsibilities. You could just solely focus on the game and like your job. But then again, the negatives of that is what we spoke about. Your life is the game, nothing else.
Yeah, you can't escape it. Although when we
I mean-
watched Game of Thrones, I loved watching that with Kobe for the first time.
Wow, what a show!
What was-
the red,
was that a
the red
blast?
wedding? The red wedding.
Oh
I
my
still
God.
have his reaction on my phone. What a great time.
I couldn't believe it, man. I finally got Ryan and Zach to start watching it, and I left 2 days before they watched the red wedding.
Oh, the worst time.
Yeah,
I need to watch like House of Dragons. I never started it.
Mm.
Is it
that's
good?
This it starts off good. Second season boring. Third season comes out, I think this year, right in like June, July time.
It's already in 3 seasons. I thought it just came out.
No, this season's is gonna be good. The one that's gonna come out.
Nice.
It's the last season, right?
They'll probably try to find a way to milk another season out of it.
Probably will. Did you have something, Parker? Before we,
I was gonna say, have we talked about Secret yet? Have we talked about?
That's what I was gonna do. Let's get back.
Okay,
into
there we
that.
go. People. The last time I said like, oh, this is gonna be a quick episode. I said that 2 episodes ago, and it was almost 4 hours. And then I said that with the Houghton episode, and it was like 3 hours. So I did not say that this would be a short nor long episode.
Yeah.
But we are an hour and 40 minutes in. I don't know if you guys realize we've been doing this for almost 2 hours, and we still have not even talked about Salt Lake City. So we're having a great time. And also, we don't really need to talk about APAC because none of us know anything about APAC. So at least that kind of rules it out. But I'm having a great time. I'm having fun. Talk about Secret.
Yeah, let's enjoy the conversation. Let's
I
talk
am.
about
I'm-
Secret. You know, I just realized how sad of an episode this is because you guys are both on teams that
It didn't, mate.
arguably, were favorites to make this event. And here we're sat talking about the event. So anyway, let's get into Secret.
Just rub it in. Just make it worse. Just bring it to the
Yeah.
forefront. So that
That's what
they
I'm here
can-
for.
they
That's
can-
what I'm here
Rip the
for.
plaster off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carl, what do you want to know, Carl? Talk to me.
What do I want to know? Okay, well, I mean, first off, Nafe, I'll hit you with a question if you want to know what. I wanna know.
I'm listening. I'm all
Okay,
ears.
right after DC. Okay, you're off the team. NA's cheering. The blokes are gone finally.
Yeah.
They're all happy, even though they don't even know what
they
a
were
full,
happy, all right.
they don't know what a full English is. Right? They haven't been to Nafe and getting spoons or getting a sausage roll from Greg's. That's all I'm
If you
saying.
know, you know.
If you know, you know. Secret though, were they primary option? When did they hit you up? Was it always going to be you and Citizen, or was there another option? Because I heard a rumor, and I don't know if you could speak on this, that maybe Fnatic might have dropped their entire team and was looking to go for you and build around you and some other players. Is there anything you could kind of say on that?
Yeah. There was a few options. I think Secret actually came into the picture quite late out of all the options. Fnatic had mentioned to me and Ben about rebuilding. But I think ultimately there was like financial stuff behind it that really wasn't going to make it work like with the rest of the team. If we wanted to have something that was like, ready to compete. Shifters was another one. That was I also could have gone to, and then Secret came into the picture. I'm trying to think, maybe like a week before the transfer window ended. And I was trialing with Shifters at the time, and then I tried with Secret. I think I actually had one scrim with Adrian before he left. And then when he left, he kind of was like, I went straight in because, like, as you know, like before I went to like IGLing, I kind of played off like that flex kind of cut role, and that's kind of what Adrian was doing, like playing the second breacher, playing like the Twitch, like all that kind of the pokey ops. So for me, that was like perfect role wise. Like I got to play like play my own game a bit more after like IGL and being like the back line and playing like kind of like the the hard support operators. So that worked out quite well. And then I'm trying to think what else happened regarding. I think they did a few other scrims with other people, including Ben, and then obviously they decided to pick up. Well, Jume was known to be gone for quite a while. The Adrian was, I think, a bit of a surprise to them, as well as myself. But yeah, I think maybe like a few days after they picked me up, they got Ben.
Okay. And then could you just walk me through, I guess, your stage then on Secret? Because I think obviously you joined a team that was just second place, lost to Faze Clan. I'm sure they were kind of reeling about that a little bit. But you had high expectations joining the team, but I don't think a lot of people realize when you make more than one change and you make two, to me, and to I think a lot of others, that's kind of like an entire like team change at that point, right? Your identity changes as a team. It seemed like your guys' identity was like taking a little bit to figure out, but yeah, walk me through the stage, walk me through a little bit of some of your problems, and why you're sitting here and not at the major.
Thank you for reminding me that. I forgot about that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, no, I think yeah. a big thing. What you said is what 2 changes compared to 1 is a very big thing. And obviously they lost great players in Jume and Adrian. Nobody can deny that. And I think there was obviously a lot of pressure from an outside perspective. Obviously, we're joining a team that just came second at SI, but and obviously me and Ben kind of had like a chip on our shoulder coming over here too, like back home, and obviously it didn't end well on DZ, and I got probably the majority of the shit for DZ, so like it was definitely a chip on my shoulder, and I think I could say the same for Ben. But like I think that pressure is like expected, and I think that sort of pressure is like a good thing. Like you want to have that. Like there's a reason why you have that pressure. But I think the main source of pressure came maybe internally during practice, and the environment. I think that's really what hurt us the most, because obviously it's hard for that. Like it's hard enough for me and Ben to like come over and try and fit ourselves into their team and their play style, but it's even probably harder for the other 3 guys that have just came off an event win. I can't remember what happened at the major, but then second at SI, so for them to be struggling against quote unquote the worst of teams was probably quite a bit of a tough pill to swallow for them too. We didn't have much time, as Paluh was saying. Like I think he was saying they had a few weeks. I think we had about maybe like 3.5 weeks, something to prepare. And when a team like Secret, they played all 9 maps. And like I said, when you want to try and get all these maps to a high enough level to play, and then you're really only playing 4 best of ones, and best of ones, especially in this day and age, can go like multiple different ways with like the cheese ops and all this go like these, like it just happens like that. Like the game's still like they're over like this, and then you're just sat there scratching your head thinking I want to play again to fix my mistakes, me myself and also the team. And yeah, I think along with like the internal pressure that we put on ourselves, there was a lot of slow starts in our games. Like I'm trying to think, the first game, Twisted Minds, that was just I think just a very nervy game from us in general. But like we didn't expect to be coming out guns blazing. Like practice wasn't going awful, it wasn't going great. But then the GK game, like when we went, I think we went 6-1 down. Like it's like we need to wake the fuck up, kind of like with the caliber of players we are and the team we have, like we should not be. It was like borderline embarrassing if you look at it in that way. And we definitely like. There was definitely some sort of like positive to take from it. There was like a mental resilience from us, like to come back from a 6-1 deficit isn't like it's not like every team could do that. So there was positives to take from it, but there was also like it kept coming through. Like even in the Rebels game, we started off slow, ended up not coming back in that game. I think we lost 7-5 or something, and then we got to the Fnatic best of 3, where we started off terrible again, and then we crawled our way back and ended up winning the best of 3. And that is the benefit of a best of 3 compared to a best of 1. So, that was kind of, I guess, a bit of a confidence boost for us, knowing that, like, it's not just one and done. But yeah, and then the Falcons game, it was, yeah, that was a rough one. And I think, honestly, just the entire, like, kickoff, whatever stage you want to call it, I think the biggest problem was just we weren't individually at a good enough level. Like, Noah was the only one playing at a good enough level, and I think when you're playing individually at a good level, like it can kind of like cover some of the cracks in the team, because it might not show. Because like one guy might have just got a crazy free game, the round's won, even though fundamentally you shouldn't have won the round. But when you're not playing well individually, the cracks appear even more, and I think it fully like unfolded during the Falcons game.
Sorry to jump in and interrupt the middle of this super show, but I've got some more information about that shirt that I teased on our most recent episode. Well, it's here, it's ready, and you can order it right now. Our Salt Lake City major collaboration that we did with Sausage, it should be up on your screen for you to take a look, is available for order right this exact moment. The shirt will run on the Last Free Nation website from today up until May 24th, and then we'll ship at the beginning of June. Now, I know for those of you that have a calendar, you're going to be a bit dismayed because that actually blows past the major itself. And for that, I personally apologize. It was just unfortunately a bit too short notice for us to be able to get all of this in order for you to be able to purchase it and bring it to the major. Believe you me, I would love nothing more than to see people walking around the venue wearing our shirts, but unfortunately it just was not possible. There were too many things for us to overcome. But if I ever see you wearing it at a future event, I will be happy to sign it. Mint would be happy to sign it, and we would love to see you rep it. Now, just a bit of information for you. This is a collaboration with Sausage, so we are sharing all revenue. He is an equal collaborator, an equal participant in this one, and we wanted to show off one of the best artists in the community. So the pre-orders that run till May 24th, they're going to be $34.99. It's the cheapest that we could get it at the price point it is, given everybody that's involved. You can buy it through the Last Free Nation website. If you live in America, we do free shipping on all orders $60 US or over. There's other stuff on that Last Free Nation shop. It's not just our shirt. There's other merch that you can take a look at. If you hit that $60 or more price point, then shipping is free. If you live in any other country, well, I think you might have to pay for shipping, but as a Canadian, I'm pretty accustomed to high shipping fees. It's just unfortunately a cost of doing business. So get the shirt. Go to lastfreenation.shop. That's lastfreenation.shop. Purchase your Salt Lake City major shirt representing the event that is coming up, or if you're watching this later, maybe the event that just concluded. And make sure you get your order in before May 24th, because this is a limited time shirt commemorating the event. I wanted to say thanks to both Last Free Nation and Sausage for taking part in this, and I'm very excited for not just me to get my hands on the product, but you to get your hands on the shirt as well. Now, back to the show. I just have one quick thing here. Both of you have now talked about how quick this turnaround was to prepare for kickoff. And we also addressed that. And Min, I don't know if this is a question that you had lined up, but I kind of feel like I obviously is not a competitor. I don't know the mindset of the orgs, and I certainly don't understand the mindset of the teams. But I just, as an outside perspective, I feel like maybe people are panicking a little bit too much about not a lot of games and not a lot of results. Like, does it not feel like people are saying the sky is falling when in all reality, this was like, you maybe played 7 maps and that was it? And now you like the fate of your team is being determined by this for at least the next stage. Like, that seems way too short.
It definitely is short, but also it's how competitive works, right? You have to be. Yeah. That's part of the job, also, right? One thing that I was thinking right now is just, what do you guys think about the 9 maps? You think it? Because that preparation.
Why are you smiling, Nave? Why?
Did you know I'm thinking of Always. You know from VP, that guy complained about ever since like Classic Empire.
No. It's because that roster changes gets way harder because of the 9 map pool. It's like the things that the thing is sticking together like got way benefited for it. Like, it's so hard to like have the map ready for the tournament, especially on those kind of changes, you know.
I think it definitely plays an effect. It's what you were saying, like, you can't. It's what do you prioritize? Like, do you prioritize like 6 maps, 7 maps for the best of ones, and then you get to the best of 3s, and then like maybe you've lost the one of those maps bad, and you have to ban it, and then you have to play one of the 2 maps you've not really practiced. It's like you got to pick your poison. But I mean, then again, you have teams like G2. They made 2 changes and they smashed the league. So I don't want to make excuses, but it definitely was a bit rough. Oh yeah, FURIA too.
Who's just a brand new team. I mean, you're absolutely right. I do think we're probably heading into a direction. I think the maybe not the community, but I think the pro scene definitely wants it to head towards maybe 7 maps, which would be a little bit better of a product, and maybe some like rotating maps at least. Maybe we can find a compromise on a way to rotate some of the maps a lot quicker.
That's a nice one.
Right, so we're not stuck with the same boring 7 maps, because I don't think Nafe, I know you love a good clubhouse, but
I knew you were gonna say that.
I don't know if NA can handle watching another clubhouse after the playoffs.
Damn it! Like... Don't remove club, please. I'm begging.
I love clubhouse. I enjoy playing, but oh my god,
yeah,
I cannot see.
You guys play it so much too. Yeah, no, exactly.
No, I think it's good what you said. I think having like a 7 map pool, but then like constantly refreshing it, like taking a map out every like stage and putting another one in, I think is good.
So
Or something like that. But I think what you said, the product's going to be a lot better if we only need to practice seven maps instead of 9. The product's always going to be better.
And I was going to say, like, I think you look at Faze, and I think that's the gold standard for a team that hasn't made any changes in 3 years or so now, and how deep their map pool was. I played them multiple times over those 3 years, and they're the most annoying team to prep against because they just have, ever since they added Chalet into their pool, they just have everything, and it's just like, where do you play them on? What do you do? But even them, you can kind of see, like, with the 9 maps, a little bit of their map decay. As they work on Chalet, their layer starts slipping, and then they lose it to D+ and get 7-0'd by G2, and then they have to, like, reinvent themselves on, like, layer because they probably stopped focusing so much on it, and they're working on some other maps. And then on the other hot side of the coin, you got Shopify, who didn't make a change in over a year. And they still don't know how to play Chalet or Consulate, so that's also concerning. But sorry, I had to throw a little Shopify dig in there.
Troy's not here to defend himself. It's fine. It
Oh,
plays into the Nafe
fine.
versus Troy narrative that has now, I think, been put to rest with all the nice things Nafe said. But we need to kick that up again.
We need clicks. We need clicks. Yeah. Come on. Shoot, what was I going to ask Nafe? Oh, going back to Secret real fast. The question I had teed up actually was, speaking of narrative, I kind of want to either shut this down or we could talk about it. But for Secret, obviously you were an IGL coming into the team, being the IGL and DZ. People have said Citizens pretty vocal as well. Did you guys go into Secret and just like run their playbook, or did you guys go in and like bring a lot of like different ideas and try to figure out collectively as a team what your identity was? Because the narrative around you guys is that there's too many voices in the team. I think we even had someone on Secret, I think it was Noah, early on was like they got to figure out the voices because Jume and Adrian were quieter than you and Citizen are. Do you think that was a little a part of it?
Overall to the season, I don't think it had an effect. Maybe like I think the first like week or two when we were trying to integrate into the team, and honestly, we came from a team where I was the main vocal guy and Ben was probably the second most vocal guy in that department. So it definitely was like a learning curve, and I guess it definitely did like hinder the first week or so of practice, which obviously with the amount of time we had wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think like we weren't trying to like come in and say like we should do this and this. Like obviously we're joining a team that just came second in the biggest tournament of the year. Like what they're doing is clearly working. So like we just would need to try and implement ourselves to the best possible like way and fit ourselves into their system. But yeah, like I think at the start, like I said, the first week there probably were too many cooks in the kitchen. But I think after that, like that wasn't the case at all.
You laughed and kind of smirked when I said, do you not think that we're making too rash a decision based on too short of a games? And I don't think you actually ever really got to answer that question, Nave. I mean, I can offer that one up again for you because I saw your smirk and I was like, does he agree? Does he disagree? Like,
I definitely agree, and I also agree with what Paluh said. Is like it's a business at the end of the day. It's cutthroat if you're not playing to a standard, like a team like Secret where they've just becoming like contenders at each event. Like I can understand it. Like again, like we've probably spent maybe a month as a team. It's the same as the M80 decision too. Like they've like only made one change in it's been like a month maybe that they've and I know like Matt didn't play like as great as he can be, but everyone knows like what he's capable of and what he's done, and like it's just like bang, he's gone. So I definitely think some decisions are maybe a bit rushed and a bit panicked, but then again there is a business side to it, and people want to win and win now.
This is a great opportunity actually. I had no intentions of talking about this earlier, but I guess just for the viewers, for people that saw when I tweeted out the emergency episode we had with Matt, Marco, who's the head of M80, seemed to take umbrage with a lot of the stuff that we said on the show and responded basically saying like, we got everything wrong and he'd be happy to come on the show. And, I suppose it's good to address that head on. While we have said repeatedly in the past that we are always happy to bring people on to tell their story, It's only under the condition that we think that the context that they provide or the story they're going to tell is either interesting or directly contradicts what was said on the show. From everything I know about the background, and after conversations with some people involved in the decisions, I don't think our speculation was that off base. And I don't think there is a real need to bring somebody on to discuss things that, as I said on the episode, could very easily have been explained in the initial tweet or done in a video surrounding it. And the big thing that I took issue with Matt being dropped isn't about him as a player or anything. It's that if you're going to kick a guy like that off the team and surprise everybody, you should probably do it in a better way than a tweet that was sent at 6:30 p.m. with a couple paragraphs, half of which aren't even talking about Matt. You know, like try to get ahead of that anger that the community is going to show and try to maybe play the message game a little bit better. You know, this is a podcast that is primarily for entertainment. We're not here to dish gossip, to make people feel bad. We're not here to get down in the mud or sling shit. And I know, you know, the phrase I used was, I know that some people on Reddit were clamoring for me to have a beat down with Marco on stream. Like, that's not who I am. And that's not what I want to do. You know, like, I respect the work that Marco puts in for M80. I think everybody should. But at the end of the day, they made that decision. And from all I know, we went into that episode completely blind. We didn't know most of what we were talking about. Since then, I've reached out to some people, and it sure seems like we did not get everything wrong. And it sure seems like we were actually pretty on base, given all the things I've now since heard. So about that M80 thing, just for the viewers that have made it this far into the episode, I'm not going to be bringing Marco on here. What if his music just hit like the Royal Rumble, by the way, and he just popped up and showed up on the screen? No, we're not going to be bringing Marco on. Like, maybe we'll do an episode with org owners sometime later, but like, the Matt drop was surprising if you figured that people would be surprised. And this is to all orgs. This is not an M80 thing. If you're going to drop somebody who's been on the team for either a long period of time or has been with you forever or has won you championships or is like a legacy player, there is maybe a certain way to go about it in the future that will not incite an uproar from the community. So just to clear the air on that and maybe throw some cold water on all the people hoping that he would show up on the show. So anyway, sorry. Everybody here is just throwing me transitions. I don't know, man. Like, Kyle did it, Paluh did it. Now you've done it, Nafe. Like, you guys ever consider all being like hosts or analysts or?
Yeah, I'll send over my invoice after. Don't worry.
I'll pay it. Well, actually, that's not true. Last Free Nation will pay it, but
Nice.
please continue.
I
can't
think we
remember where we
finished.
were at, to be
I'm
honest.
pretty sure we finished. I think we're waiting for the
Yeah.
transition to Salt Lake City, to be honest.
Are you content? Do you have any more questions for them, Kyle?
My content. And
Okay, don't answer that. Do you have any more questions for them?
Okay. No, I think I threw some curveballs in there. I think I gave it to Nafe a little bit. I think it's time to talk about the
Let's talk about Salt Lake.
non-superior regions, and then when you guys are ready to talk about NA, and let me know.
I do love.
Kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course.
One of the big strengths about bringing both of you on is that you have played enough international events against the other regions that while you are not going to be, the standard bearers like Nafe, you obviously were in NA for a while. You can easily and comfortably talk about some of these players, and I'm sure you've watched some of these matches. Like, both of you have played against all of the regions. I mean, I guess China is the one big question mark, and it was announced earlier today that Wolves were unable to secure their visas. So who knows what's going to happen there? We're already presumably down one team, and we haven't even made it to Salt Lake yet. For those, by the way, that are griping about this, I don't know, and this is where the non-political people are going to start getting angry. I don't know if people have seen what's going on in America, but there is maybe a current administration that is making it particularly challenging for certain people to get visas. Getting visas to the States is really hard, period. The hoops that I, as a Canadian, have had to go through, and Paluh and so many Brazilians know that this process is fucking a nightmare. But like,
no, if you follow some of the Brazilian players, like FURIA and Los, they just got like their visa approval like yesterday or so. Like, they were trying like different.
Yeah.
They were like flying to different cities to try to like apply on different consulates. So everyone was rushing because it's really tough.
Yeah, my visa was approved. So all of the casters who are going that aren't American Their visas were approved in no time. I had an O1 visa for 3 years. So I thought, and Blast thought it would be a cakewalk. Oh, you're just reapplying for the visa. That's perfect. My visa was approved like Thursday afternoon. That is less than a week from my flight. And we were starting to figure out what happens if my visa doesn't get approved. Like, I don't understand if people realize that America, or I don't think people realize that America right now maybe doesn't exactly have the most friendly government to international people coming over, and that it's really challenging on a good day to get a US visa. It is especially difficult right now. So it frankly is amazing that only one team has missed it. Because if you guys all remember from the Charlotte Major, there was a whole whack of teams that failed to make it. So it's rough stuff. But Nafe, I'm going to start with you very quickly. Let's talk about EML, and let's go through. I'll leave it to you. The 4 teams that are going from EML. What are your expectations? What do you think their strengths will be? And do you think among those 4 teams there is a team that could potentially win it all?
I don't know where I start. I'm having a look now so I can get a good perspective on it. I think, I'll start with your question. Who do I think will win here? I'll probably go with the obvious, either G2 or Falcons. I think they're most likely to go the distance. Me personally, I said this to the secret guys. I think I actually do think if anyone from EU is going to win it, I think it will be Falcons this time. Hopefully, if they go over this mental curve, with the addition of Jume, I think there's no reason why they can't. But I think honestly, VP surprised. I think quite a lot of people in EU. They made drastic changes. They went from full Russian to just Dan and Pasha. I mean, I know they added Russian in Rorik, but they got the 2 Frenchies, Skies and Nako. Yeah. So their whole system changed. They got dark Brazilian coaching.
Another Brazilian,
I mean,
eh?
Yeah. Gonna say I think they surprised quite a lot of teams. They have their structure to their play style, but they're also got they're not same old VP where you can just sit back. Okay, they're gonna clear this round. They're gonna have this drone. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. I think they've definitely mixed it up, and I think that's credit to the new players and the coaching staff. So I think they honestly why they can't, and obviously Twisted Minds is I think they're just an annoying team to play against. For anyone that's not in EU and doesn't play them, it's just it. You probably would have seen playing against. Have you played against Hashom?
I have, but I sometimes watch what he does, and I'm just there was a play that he jumped out visa on consulate.
Oh yes,
I was watching oh my god, bro, what is that?
Yes. No, when you watch them guys.
Yeah, I watch them play, and it's just hard because they just do what they want. It seems like they just are feeling it. It's annoying playstyle. Yeah, you said exactly.
It's just hard to play it. At the top level, you're thinking okay, this guy's doing this for a reason. They probably want to do this sort of attack, but it could be just literally one guy walking in a door with Blitz alone, and if 3 other teammates are just picking their nose back on the other side of the map doing nothing, and then you rotate, and then 1 second, Hashem's just in a corner waiting for you to rotate, and it's just one of those teams that they're definitely a bogey team, and I think they're a dark horse, to be honest. I think they would definitely make it hard, or at least create a few upsets in there.
How long ago was it that the core of that team was it the Montreal Major where they made the old core of that team back when they didn't compete in EML, I think they were technically Falcons, or maybe they were GK at the time? No, I was trying to remember. Falcons. I think it was Montreal Major.
Yeah, they played Montreal, and then they played the Boston SI2 under Falcons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you say that, and I kind of want to ask more about them because they seem like a team that everybody has forgotten is going to this event. I do not see anybody talking about them at all. Why do you think that is?
I mean, probably just they're not the biggest social media presence, I guess, when you got teams like G2, Carl's streaming with his top off, everyone's talking about whatever he's doing, whatever Shiko's doing,
Excuse me?
If you're not tuned into Carl's streams, then it's a sight to withhold. But I guess they're just not probably biggest online presence, and I guess teams are they're just going to be thinking of instantly the G2s and the Falcons and what they're doing. So, But as I said, when I in Boston when I was on DZ and we played them, we beat them the first time, and then we played them a second time. That was like we got absolutely shit on that event by FURIA, but the most annoying game was that Falcons game because it's just so hard to predict against them. So
they are a team that like sometimes I don't know if because they play high ping, but they just pick everything. I see like
yes,
they are so aggressive on a point that it's just absurd sometimes. Like I've have practice against them on it was on a Gamers 8 that we qualify. I'm not sure exactly, but it was like 2020, 2022 or something like that. We were playing against them, and we were like, no way they play like that on a tournament. And yeah, they do. They do play like that. They're just crazy. They don't care.
You got to respect it.
I'll say it's fun to watch. It's not fun to be against.
Yeah,
we did it. We took him to border one time, and I still hear it to this day in my chat. Why do you take him to border? And then that Boston SI, I think you guys played him twice, and I think twice you guys went to border again.
We beat them on border the first time, and then lost to them the second time.
Probably the most most fun to watch series for me, because I know, like, again, playing against those guys, it's so random. I think you're right, like no one really talks about them. NA
it's crazy. Like I feel like I almost forgot they were getting invited. Like everybody's doing their like tier lists and stuff, and nobody's talking about them.
I also think the meta we're in right now, I don't know if you guys agree with this, with the information meta, the Dokkaebi, the Deimos, the Snake is like absolutely perfect for their play style, right? Being able to just walk around and do whatever they want and play extremely split. So we'll have to see once like nerfs go in if they're able to kind of keep this up. But for me, they're a dark horse. Like them versus, I'm trying to think what NA team I feel comfortable to play against Twisted Minds. Like I actually think those guys are going to catch so many people off guard. Like think about JJ, for example. I can't wait for Nafe to talk about JJ. But first off, their first time at LAN event, if they get matched up against Twisted Minds, his fucking mind's about to be cooked. Yeah, like that's gonna be that's gonna be fun.
When Hashom's prone outside Aquador on labs with a Twitch DMR, and he sat there for 2 minutes, and JJ's gone, oh, nobody's pushing this staircase, I'm gonna rotate. He walks up the stairs dead.
One thing I remember is that they also are trash. They like to trash talk, right? So I remember that the W7M guys, I'm not sure it was at the Boston SI. Like they just won the major. At the SI they play against them, they lost. But like between the maps, I don't know if it was P9. He was like making some kind of he was like provocating a little bit. They got mad, like really mad because they just don't care about anything.
You can see it a little bit like that they're typing away, and it might not show up on the screen on the match because a lot of the observers try to hide it. But like you can just see them typing away in between rounds, and I'm like, man, vibes are high.
Yeah, it's not even just typing. I think Nafe, you could probably attest to this, how loud they are in person when they're yelling at.
Bro, that Boston SI, you know, they had the twins, right? The twins.
Dov, too tough, and guard.
They would win a round. You know, like how people would scream like, yes, or something. They would just make noise. They would literally go, oh! And I'm like,
one of them was guards, right? He was just
guards, yes, guards and dog. Like he'd go, one of them would go, oh, then we'll go, ah! That's the way it works. I don't know, they're just crazy.
You have Falcons as your top team, right?
I think if anyone in the EU is going to win, I think it'll be them.
Can you sell me on them real quick? Sell me on them, because me watching, it seems like they're very up and down right now. They're figuring out Jume, right? They lose to you guys. Like, how do they lose to you guys? You know, first off, and then just kidding. Second off, then they get to playoffs. They get 2-0'd by VP, which I'm with you. I thought VP looked great, but they get 2-0'd by VP, and then in the lower bracket final,
the game after.
I'm not going to. I'm going to skip over that one for you. And then skipping over that game, that's not important. Lower bracket final, the 3rd, 4th seed, which I think is an important seeding match. I don't know if you guys find it important, but like having to play Phase 1, I think it's a little bit kind of scary. And a team like the Falcons shouldn't have to even play in Phase 1. They get kind of, I won't say owned because it was close, but they lose to the Twisted Nine boys. So a couple upsets here and there. Why are they going to be like what? Sell me on them. How are they going to be not this inconsistent team?
The EU is obviously top heavy in my opinion, and I think it's really competitive. Like like I think those, as I said to you, like I'm sure the Falcons guy agrees that Twisted Minds team is annoying to play against. It's like a completely different play style compared to like playing us, for example, or G2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the main difference is like, Falcons have like done it. Like they've consistently got to these latter stages of the event, and if you watch their documentaries, like you would have seen that like the mental effect kicked in, and like I don't know, like whether you see like Striker looked to be a big part of it, to be honest. And like they were doing like team talks like after the game, and he's just on his phone. When they're all like saying like pouring their hearts out and saying like, well, I think like this is bad and all this kind of stuff, and the guy was on his phone. So like obviously I don't know the ins and outs of it, and I think it's obviously like a multitude of things, but Jume's not going to be that kind of guy. From seeing how he was in secret, and I think, as I said, they know how to get to events, and they've won an event too. But I don't even know if we forget that they won the EWC, like the very first one when they first formed.
Yeah.
So as I said, I think because playing online and playing at an event are two different things. So
yeah, well, I think you're right with the mental too, right? Like obviously you're right. The documentaries I've watched going back to BDS with Shaco saying he got his, and he's just pissed off at everybody, and then it seems very like they're trying to have fun, but it seems also like they're kind of nervous at the same time is what the vibe feels like. So Jume, we've heard a lot about him being kind of carefree. I think is a perfect fit for that environment. So that makes a lot of sense. Is there any did we get it right during kickoff? Is there any team that you think should have made it? And excluding our own, but is this your top 4 teams as a region?
We did not deserve to make it. But yeah, I think honestly those top 4, I think, were the ones that deserve to make it. To be honest, I think everyone else was below par.
Yeah, I think I was also impressed with Shifters. I think the stage. I thought they looked pretty good with the Blaz pickup.
Yeah, I'm incapable. I am incapable of hearing that name and not hearing Shitters. Okay. It's impossible, dude. First it was BDS, which came across as like BDSM, and now it's Shitters, and it's just like, how do we escape this? How do I? I've not cast them yet. I will say Shitters when I cast them. It will not be deliberate. I know I'm gonna say it. I know it. That's all.
You've got a lawsuit coming your way.
Yep.
Man. First Gohan sues me, now this.
Yeah. I hope you got a good lawyer.
I don't have one at all.
Nice cover.
So you think it was an accurate grouping of teams that have gone? What was your experience like playing up against G2 with Shaiko and Benja on it? Does it feel like what?
Could you at least say the word stomping when you come on?
Okay, is Stompin one of the two new players on the roster, Kyle?
No, but you have to come on. Just what's it like playing against the King, Nafe?
That's King. That's just King. Put his crown on. I don't know, it's what Paluh was saying about FURIA. Like fundamentally, like they might not be the best team, but individually they're all great players, and you might fundamentally win the round, but that guy might just walk in and take 3 of your heads off just because he's just hit a crazy shot. And I think that's just G2 in general. Like I think anyone, like you look at their team, any one of their players can do that, to be honest. So they've just got a lot of talent on the team, and
except Alamo, his butt.
Yeah, that guy.
There we go.
I hope you. Yeah, timestamp this, please. Alamo, on the YouTube, Alamo bot Paluh in quotation marks.
Yeah. The thumbnail's just going to be Paluh calling him a bot. That's it. Let's just harvest these views as much as possible.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is with them. Like it'll be interesting to see, like at an event, like if maybe like their stars aren't, playing to the same like the level that they were playing in EU, how they cope. But as I said, if one guy doesn't step up, they've got the 4 other guys this time. Like there's not really like a weak link in that team. So I think that's what it obviously helps them out. That individually they're great players. So team-wise, it's what I said about Secret. Like individually, we weren't great, but no, obviously that made the team issues worse.
One sec. This is the perfect time right there. That break was perfect. Discord is unfortunately garbage, and if we go too long, cams start to get desynced. So if all you guys want to do is just literally turn off your camera and turn it back on so that your voices and pictures are in sync, yeah, it should be.
Yep.
Nave, can you try talking? Mint, you try talking?
Blah blah
After
blah
you
blah
go.
blah blah.
Well, yeah. Anything now? All good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's just
Stomping,
it happens on
casing, golf.
it happens on Discord. It's unavoidable, and it can get pretty bad. I meant to do it earlier, but I had completely forgotten about it, and then I was like, oh, cam desync. Okay, let's try again. So perfect.
Let me ask you. I haven't watched like all the games, but one thing like FURIA is in a really great shape. But one thing that I just saw, like I was thinking, they haven't played many maps. Like the format helps for it, but like they have played like 4 maps throughout the tournament. How about G2? They have shown more, or they are also like the same?
Oh god, I have watched the games, but I'm trying to think what they played. I think they played majority of the maps. I think they played at least 7 of the maps.
Yeah.
If you give me a sec, I can actually
Yeah.
I can actually pull this data up if you guys wanna keep your banter on. I'll go to my handy dandy Desichul, which is the Desichu tool that we use for all of our stuff.
I think I see 5. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Well, they played a different map each, best of one.
I noticed that in their map pools, it seems like they played a lot of like Clubhouse. They played a lot of like Border. I believe there was a Border in there. They played some of their maps that I wouldn't have thought was some of their stronger ones, which is very G2 like to do that.
It's not like a G2 map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you not remember when we lost Clubhouse to them at SI, Carl, in Sao Paulo?
The main stair hold?
No, I do not remember the Uno 1v3 because we just ran at him and
nah, I threw that out of my mind.
We lost that game, and I was thinking, when I came from EU, like G2 were terrible at a club, and I'm thinking, how the fuck have we just lost to them on club? But now they're actually, to be fair, like we scrimmed them. I'm pretty sure they play all the maps. Yeah, but they're actually a pretty good club team.
Yeah,
I see 5 here. So they played Club and Layer against Virtus Pro. They played Layer and Border against Twisted Minds. They played Fortress against Fnatic and Shifters, and they played Clubhouse against Team Heretics. So actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's only 4 maps. They played 4 maps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they played Border, Layer, Fortress, Clubhouse. Those were the only maps they played during kickoff.
Yeah, that's similar to FURIA. Like they are probably also like on the same thing. They need to show a lot of things that can be like good or bad. But let's see. It's just like the format. It helps a lot. Like maybe you hide, or for FURIA, it's hard to say because they are a new team, completely new team. So they forced probably those maps that they have some time for preparation. But yeah.
I was wrong. Mint was correct. So when I log into this thing, you have to manually change the date. It just goes for the last month. So we missed their first map, which was March 31st, where they played Consulate and they lost it to Virtus Pro. So they did play 5 maps. So it was Consulate, Clubhouse, Fortress, Border, Layer were the 5 maps that G2 played during kickoff. So Kyle?
What was that first thing you said?
Kyle was right.
Slow it down.
I was wrong.
Slow it down.
I was wrong.
Woo! Feels good. That's just manual right there. That's just manual stats. I'm really quick at the Wikipedia. Just flying in there. But that seems to be what a lot of the good teams, whether you guys think they're good or not, are kind of doing at this point. With like even Shopify, they got a lot of hate, but if you go back and look at a lot of their best of ones, they're playing fucking Chalet twice and some of their other bad maps, and then until best of 3s when it really matters and it's time to lock in. Because you're kind of thinking you're going to make the major, I feel like, no matter what. But G2 definitely seemed like that. I would think they even had Romalio in Alamo in an interview kind of saying, or maybe it was Doki, talking about like, they're just getting like kind of game day reps. Sometimes Romalio will just go ahead and pick, like, they'll have like Boulder come up in one stage when they were permabanning Boulder for a long time. And you ask them why they're playing Boulder and like, oh, just get a game day rep. Like before an event, I feel like that's a good thing. No? Before you find out that your Boulder sucks and then you have to permaban it, which you don't want to have to happen at an event because The moment, like, I feel like all these teams, I don't know if you guys have had this, you go into an event with your 9 map pool, and real quickly in groups, that map pool starts sliding down, like, oh, next thing you know, we only play 6 maps, and you're like, guys, we can only ban 2 of them. But
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes like a bad map becomes a great map. It's the tournaments. It's so weird. Like I have like experienced many times. Like we have becoming with a new map, and suddenly like a great map starts to like
yeah,
just like
yeah.
becoming a trash.
I mean, I know that we joke about saving strats and stuff, but I just, as an outside observer, I both love I hate this as a caster, but I kind of secretly love it as a caster. When a team that's never really played a map before decides to make it a debut, we often go in blind. We don't know if if they're trying this map for the first time. Maybe it's desperation. Maybe they've scrimmed it once or twice. There's not a lot of data out there. And it's really tough as a caster to talk about that. You know, it's a difficult story to tell because you want to set expectations, but you can't because you don't know what's about to happen. And it was never more evident than if you remember when Empire was the best clubhouse team in the world. Nobody doubted that.
Yeah.
And then the old Faze Clan team with Yuna on it, for crying out loud, at the Raleigh major in a best of 3 pulls it out. And we were all like, what the fuck are they doing? They're going to get absolutely blasted. And
It
then
was the Caveira interrogation.
was that? And then they won it 7-1 at Raleigh against Empire, or 6-1 or whatever the score, whatever the fucking score we used at the time was. I can't remember if it changed or not. And I was just like, there's no way. And it's so exciting as a viewer to see that, but as a caster, I'm trying to manage expectations, and it's like it's not easy to tell this story because at any moment it could change. And it's the same as like when a team is really good at a map, like Fortress, for example. Wildcard got absolutely annihilated by M80 on Fortress, and it's like, so we come in tripping over ourselves. Oh, this should be a slog. You know, this should be a slog for M80. Wildcard's going to dance with it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then Wildcard gets smoked. And it's like, well, now I look like a bit of an idiot. And a lot of what I've said, you can just completely disregard. So.
No, honestly, from my perspective, well, I think from a lot of pros' perspective, is like when a team, like you've been scrimming them on a map. Or like maybe like it's like a team, like, say, for example, it was G2 and they permaban Clubhouse. And then they're scrimming you on it and they're destroying you on it. There's no better feeling than when they go and play that map. This goes for any team. When they go and play that map in the official and they get absolutely smoked after absolutely smoking you in the scrim, and you're like, fucking scrim energy. You're sitting there. I fucking knew it. You banned that shit again.
Do we have any thoughts that we want to weigh in on when it comes to EML? Paluh, obviously you are not from Europe, but you have played against a lot of these EU teams. What did you watch any of the EML matches? If you did, what did you notice about a team like G2? Or let's just focus on G2 and Falcons right now, because those are the 2 teams that I think there's a pretty big consensus here that those are the 2 teams in EU that probably will be the standard bearers.
Yep.
Did you notice any difference with those teams? And if you were playing against them, would you be more scared of a G2 with Shaiko on it? Would you be more scared of a Falcons with Jume on it?
I have watched a couple, and G2 is just like, I even saw like Alemão was talking in a Rasa string, like in Portuguese. Like they are also just abusing the meta. Like if Clash is open, they're gonna play like the 6 rounds Clash. They are like playing the as it's supposed to be played right now. Like they are just like playing the operators that breaks the game. And yeah, he said like basically that like you can ban like everything because there are so many operators. There are like 3 shields, Deimos, in glass. Like every time it's gonna be like
Rim.
So they just gonna run like the operators that they are available, and they are doing it, and it's working, right? There is not much like the defense can do. So the thing that I enjoyed watching this stage was VP. They really surprised us. Like we played them when they were at the tryouts. It was a different lineup, but the Roderick was already at the team, and they were already like a different team. They were like peeking, like jumping out of windows, something that it was like so different from VP. We knew like they were like probably be a great team. So yeah, and I really enjoy like watching them play. I think they are also like playing really well the meta. You can see like they introducing those barriers, also like glass and those stronger barriers, and they are a fun team. I think they are a team to keep watch. Like they are gonna probably be a strong team also. Falcons I have not watched for real. Like I have watched maybe one or two matches. I've watched like Secret and Falcons that they lost. Like and I don't have much to say about them really.
Do you, from what you saw, do you think those are the two teams from EU that are probably going to do the best?
Yeah, like Falcons is always a great team, and G2, as I said, like they are playing really well the meta right now. They are like they have the annoying meta and they are shooting hard. So yeah, they have like the what they need to play well.
All right. Kyle, you know ball.
Barely.
That's not true.
We talk about EU ball.
Do you want to keep talking about EU? Do you want to shift to? Do you want to shift over to Brazil? Do you have Nafe? Do you
Yeah.
think Nafe? You are the expert for EML
There
here.
we go.
Have we missed anything?
He's a Brit.
He is British. That is correct. Have we missed anything about the teams?
We've covered all the important teams, aka the ones that actually made the event.
Wow.
We can move on to the lesser regions.
North America, it is. Do we want to jump over to NA and then go to Brazil? I'm fine with that. I mean, we don't. Kyle, you are our resident NA expert
Wow.
here.
Look, I got one NA question for Nafe. Because he's got experience. We can go back to the Nafe versus Troy beef. You just said
Back again.
No, you just said
You'll never escape it.
You'll never escape. You just said Falcons winning it all, right? But they're in phase 1. Guess who else is in phase 1? Troy
Don't start with that.
Canadian.
They
Okay?
literally own Shopify.
But have you looked at the results? They're so close. 8-7 multiple times.
Yeah, but who comes out on top each time? It's
Well,
close,
it's
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they always take the cake at the end of the day.
So it doesn't
Maybe
matter.
Maybe it's a mental block. Maybe Striker
No
gone now.
Shaiko.
So maybe they're no glaze from Shopify thinking with versus Striker. They might beat him now. So
I will
knows?
say
Go
will
ahead.
say that very last time they played map 3 7-7 match point.
I know he went.
Shopify should have won. Who went nuke? It was Shaiko walking IT, somehow killing Spoit, Smoke, and again, he got a 3K walking
Fucking
IT.
garage. Yeah.
Because he probably felt like the team was doing nothing, which to be fair, they weren't. They were going to lose that round. Shopify was going to win that game. I know I'm speaking like a true NA fan here. I'm just like, we could have.
lost that.
But
I'm
like,
telling you,
hey.
it's like they should have lost that, but they didn't. And that's that. Honestly, it's like when you win games that you shouldn't win. It's just like a sign of a great team.
so you hate Troy then?
We already established that. That's why he kicked him off the team. That's why he kicked him off the team. They are those
Much
two
love,
teams.
people. Good night.
They are on a collision course because I don't know if you guys have actually checked, but the phase 1 brackets are out.
Yep.
Shopify Rebellion play 4 Angry Men, not very first match, but their first match of the event, and then it's Falcons Daystar in the same side of the bracket. So if we assume, sorry,
Four Angry. That's
Yes,
actually the
it
name
is.
of the team. Four Angry.
it's Australia. It's an APAC team, right?
From China.
Oh, it's the
China,
Chinese
yeah.
team. Never mind. I was thinking of what is the name? I was thinking of the Australian team that had a similar name. Anyway, some angry APAC fan is going to be in the comments being like, "You won't talk about APAC, and I can't even remember our team names." Anyway, so I mean, China's China, but I mean, like, unless you're playing against an EU or a Brazil team, I honestly think Shopify Rebellion's going to win their first match. Daystar versus Team Falcons. Let's not kid ourselves here. Daystar had some good results at SI. They looked okay, but I mean, Falcons should win that game. Like, no questions asked. And then they play each other in the upper bracket semis. Now, granted, there is a lower bracket here, but like that we could see very, very quickly how they do battle. And I expect to see them on what I imagine would be day 2. I don't know the schedule when that match will be played. I imagine it's on day 2, but like we'll be able to know which one he's
Who
correct.
used to be Talon lineup? Because they are like, they used to win every time against Falcons.
Who was
Dude.
it?
It was the PSG guys when Fabian was on the team.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
the Korean team. Yeah.
They used
They're
to win
record versus
against
APAC
Falcons.
teams. Yep.
Yeah.
Are they? They are, and I can remember like the roster.
I'm pretty sure one of the guys on that 4 Angry Men is from that PSG team. Got it?
Really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He used to be on PSG.
You
They
are
should-
you are spot on. You are correct. Yeah.
He's got to take down Troy first.
Oh boy. What happens to Shopify Rebellion if they lose to 4 Angry? What do you think would happen? What do you think the people who are just they're salivating?
It's gonna
To
be a
shit on
lot of angry men.
More than 4.
Way more than 4 of them. All the people who like hate Troy and hate Spoit and are just like hate watching, being like, these guys are going to lose. And it's like China's first event. And it's like one of the bottom teams in China, not the worst seeded team, but one of the bottom teams in China that made the event, and Shopify Rebellion loses to them. Like, guys, get your impressions on Twitter that day. Like, just jump in. It's gonna be incredible. Like, it would be quite the show. Like, obviously, we don't hope that any teams lose for like comedy or anything like that. But if that ended up happening, it would be like the sky would be falling for an awful lot of people. And I know, Nafe, since you hate Troy, you would love that. So
Jeez.
Would. Hate's a strong word though. Despise.
talking about North America, you wanted to ask about Shopify Rebellion. Did he give you a satisfactory answer?
He did. I thought that, unfortunately, Wolves, obviously, they won't
They
be
are
at the
probably
event.
not going to make it because their visas got denied, right? But I wonder if
Yeah.
we're going to see like a thing where maybe they try to get like Mexico or Canada and try to put it together.
Mm,
I don't think that's going to happen because I think there's
yeah.
I don't know, but
'Cause
that's
I saw a
free win
world-
for Los. As a free win for Los.
It is a free win for
Yeah.
Los, because I saw a world where if Los lost, and if Falcons, Shopify go against each other, Shopify is supposedly supposed to lose. It looked like there was a world where Los and Shopify could actually match up against each other in Phase 1, which would have probably been, at least for the narrative, the most interesting Phase 1 match we probably would have if that theoretical ever happened. But now that Los gets the free win, I don't think there's a way for that unless Shopify somehow lost to 4 Angry Men, which I also don't see that happening.
The top bracket here in Phase 1 is so free for Los, right? Like
Yeah.
they probably would have beaten Wolves anyway, but now they definitely will move on unless Wolves are playing like remotely. Enterprise EG, or Edward Gaming EDG. I guess I can't say EG because we had an EG. Los should beat them. Los should beat either of those teams, and then they walk their way into Phase 2. So, and then you've got I don't think Enterprise is a bad team, and I do think they had some pretty good moments at Paris, but they also knew that they were dropping 2 players, and apparently vibes were quite bad on the team. I heard that Enterprise went into Paris basically knowing that the team was going to blow up afterwards, and some players were pretty bitter, and it definitely affected their play. So here, hopefully, there'll be a more harmonious roster with Magnet coaching these guys to a better
Magnet is
result.
coaching Enterprise.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I did not know that either.
Oh.
The more
Yeah.
you know.
Is he
APAC ball
yeah.
knowledge, huh? You got
Yeah.
the APAC ball.
Yeah, it's looking
Mag,
like
Mag is the coach? Yeah.
it's looking a promising lineup. Like there are 2 guys that shoot really hard. That's Bopping and Tuhan, and they
Abbott and
join
Tuan are
like
excellent. Yeah, those are really
yeah.
good players.
and they join like Jigsaw also like shows up, and Brando has like experience. Kiro also, right? It should not be like an easy match.
Admittedly, I don't know much about Cairo, but like from what I've heard, and I wish
He used
Wettables.
to be on the no, or not on the old. I can't remember the other Australian that
Chiefs. He was on Chiefs. He
He
was
was
on
on
Wild
Chiefs, yeah,
Card,
yeah.
and then he was on Chiefs. So I mean, he's been around for a while, but I don't know him all that well, and for whatever reason, I don't end up casting the Australian teams that much at majors. Usually, the Aussie casters end up taking those matches, but like he doesn't really move the needle for me the way that like Bappin and Tuhan do, like you said, right?
Yeah.
And from what I've heard from the ball knowers here, and again, I wish Wettables was on the show because he could have told us, but it seems like they've assembled kind of a super team. Was like the basic vibe I got was it's like the best Australian players are on this Enterprise roster. They should do well. If they don't, the region's just kind of fucked.
It's like the the Dark was the coach. Who was the? I always forgot the organization. The sand. It was not Sandbox. It was after.
The
They
Furax
like.
team?
Yeah. They also like tried the same thing, right? They kind
Yeah.
of. Let's see.
It did, yeah. I mean, Enterprise should, like, if I'm looking at these teams, like Los, Shopify, Rebellion, and Falcons should qualify, unless they end up matching up in the lower bracket before a qualification match. Then obviously one of them has to go home. I mean, maybe I'm underwriting China here, but like Enterprise,
Yeah, we
maybe,
don't have
maybe I
much
am.
to say. Like they might
You
be
might
like
be.
this biggest surprise, but I never. We
Yeah.
haven't watched any matches, so we can't say much.
Like
Yeah.
you guys are talking about Enterprise. I kind of want to see that first game versus Edward Gaming, because on Edward Gaming they got a little guy that. Sorry, maybe not little guy, but they got a guy over there by the name of
You say
Direction.
Mentalist?
By the
Oh,
name of Direction.
Mentalistic is back playing.
Mentalist is
Yeah,
back
he's
playing,
back.
and so he's got a lot of experience with his time on Bleed and Joel to teach those guys the meta. And he has a guy on the team named Direction who's plus 77, higher than any other player in any other region, plus 14 on the entry. Like you could say whatever you want. He's farming
that is
China. He's farming China. But like, I want to see if this guy's the truth. What's his highest rated defensive operator? Smoke. He's plus 77 on Smoke. This guy might be the truth. Might be the truth. That's all I'm saying.
So I've heard of Direction before, and I just clicked his Liquipedia, and I was like, why do I know this name? He used to be a caster.
Oh,
He used to be a Chinese caster. Yeah, and
wow.
like years ago, like right as the pandemic was ending.
Yeah.
He was like
Wait.
watching, just thinking, I could kill those bots. Let me join the server.
He's like, he rolls up his sleeves. He's like, let me in there. Comes running down from the mic stand. I was like, why do I know that name?
He casted the COVID SI.
Yeah, he wasn't physically in.
Sweden?
He did the he did remote casting. There
Yeah.
were Chinese casters at this SI. So this SI it was French, English, and Chinese casters were there. And I will say, Paluh, I know you have a really nice studio, and I know that you know a lot of the Brazilian casters don't necessarily want to leave Brazil, but I really miss seeing the Brazilian casters at events.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why.
It's
It's
usually money. It's because you've got a professional studio and everything's set up there. It's way more expensive to bring out another crew when you have the best studio. Like the Brazilian studio is amazing. Like, why would you give that up? You know, just it sucks for the players, or it sucks for the casters. So that's the phase 1 bracket. Let's talk a little bit more. You want to talk more about NA? Mint, you're the expert.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys chime in. I'm sure you guys are watching, the Superior region in Siege because you're trying
Brazil,
to learn.
I do cast it, yes.
Right, NA because we're trying to learn how to play the game. So you're probably looking at like a team like 5 Fears and trying to take some of their strategy. I get it. JJ's a master class, as Nafe would know, right? Today, Nafe, you left and JJ got first place. What the hell happened?
You're welcome, JJ.
Anyway, for NAL, we're obviously sending 5 Fears, Wildcard, DarkZero, and Shopify. And as your resident NA glazer, maybe we should have had someone else with a little bit more glaze on this pod, because I'm a little scared. I don't see M80 there. I am an M80 glazer, but like as an NA fan, I feel like I can only truly reliably count on 2 teams, and that's M80 and Wildcard internationally. Right, M80 having won 2 events in the last whatever hell it's been, and Wildcard getting pretty close. Paul, I think you even said it earlier. They've been pretty competitive, top 4. Now that Lagonis is there, I think the world of that guy. I think they have been like really special to watch. So I'm obviously excited about them. They've obviously had a little bit of a shaky start. Their Wildcard seems to be, or the X factor on the team's Baby Shark, and he admittedly has not been playing very well. But that is regionally, of course, where he's a little bit more figured out. Hopefully internationally, he gets back in having the success that he's having, especially with Adrian on the team. That's like my gold standard. I know they weren't the first seed. I know JJ was the first seed, but for me, it's Wildcard as the clear favorites, as like watching them internationally. I expect Lagoatness to be staying up until the wee morning prepping
Not
like he
sleeping.
normally does, not ever sleeping like Spiker told us. And they are going to be fully prepped and ready to go. Spiker with his handwritten notes that he was talking about. Those guys I do think are really good. Obviously struggling a little bit with figuring out their new play style.
Spiker went nuts on the qualification match, right? I saw like the last rounds, they were like he was playing really, really well.
So I asked him about that because it seems like he got off the shields a little bit because obviously now he has to pick up the shields without Dash on the team. And he had a gun in his hands, and I believe he dropped over 17, which is like the Spiker I know and love. Like he was popping off now that he has like a Grim gun or a Capital gun, which Nafe, as you know, are some fantastic operators to play. Grim and Capital, all the utility in the world right there. What do you need a shield for? So yeah, he was doing a lot better. He did say like the shields, whether he wants to admit it or not, probably not give anything away before the major. He didn't say that they were getting him off for shields, and more so it was map dependent, which is true. A map like Clubhouse, maybe you don't need as many shields, but that's what it was for him. DarkZero were the team that probably looked the best going into Salt Lake City until the playoffs, right, where they dominated their group 4-0. I think everyone was like, holy cow, don't know how these guys look good. I was hate watching them. I don't know about you, Nafe, but I was hate watching them all season long. And, I was very questioning. I actually was kind of questioning the roster move. I'm not going to lie. Even though I was hate watching you guys as well. But because we're seeing all these teams build like G2, right? You get 4+ frontline players and you try to stack like X factors on your team, right? You see FURIA do the same thing with all the aggressive players on their team. It's working out for them. M80 tried it with Ashen as well. But then you got a team like DZ who's got 4 support players. Everyone's like, who the hell is their entry? Yeah. And they still kind of dominated North America and maybe shut up some people.
Literally, I think a lot of people were surprised. Like that team on paper looks so passive.
I didn't watch their games. Who is like the front line? Is Newers?
That would be your front. That would be what you consider front line. But Nafe, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, well, I think Kino's more front line because he's a shield.
Really?
Yes.
Newers is like an entry. Don't get me wrong. Mechanically, he's great, but that guy, when I was in America, he was known to be a beta for quite a bit. So when he was on oxygen and stuff. So that's like when this team got formed, I think a lot of people were saying like who's actually going to go in there and get stuff done. But I don't know.
It has been Kino on the power ups for sure.
Again, it's similar to the G2 thing. I guess less on the aggressive front, but they've got 5 individually great people. Like even Fultz as a support player, like he can shoot. So I think that definitely comes into it where like they've got like a lot of individual talent. So
I think the thing that doesn't surprise me about them is the fact that maybe because they have those 4 backline players, they are fantastic at defense. I think they were our top-rated defensive team, if I remember correctly, going back to the stats we had another episode. But I think they were one of our top-rated defensive teams. I mean, they have a lot of clutch factors. You already know, playing with NJR, he's probably like exactly who you want to be the last alive in a situation, because he's just going to just clutch rounds that you have no idea how he just did that. They also have J90, who used to rival NJ in the clutch department, multiple events, like J90 clutching up. Newers, because he is a little bit of a slower entry of a player, like he also clutches a ton of rounds. So they have a ton of clutch potential. They have like a really solid backbone. So I think it makes a lot of sense that they're really strong on the defensive part. But yeah, going into playoffs,
they're still the best defensive rated team, by the way, and they're not that far back of 5 fears for second. DZ.
What do you mean for 5 fears for second?
No, you were talking about DarkZero being the best defensive team, right? Yeah, they are, and then they're second to 5 fears on attack as well.
Oh wow!
So okay, 5 fears has the 5 fears. 5 fears is the best attacking.
Yeah.
And 5 fears has the second best defending, and DZ is the best defending and the second best attacking. But DZ is also tied with SSG for attack win rate. So they're both at the exact same. They both won 21 rounds of 34 on attack.
That's because Dream's the GOAT. Dream and the rookies. But yeah, I mean, they struggled in playoffs. I mean, they lost a wild card. Wild card started coming into form a little bit, I guess. That was a very surprising loss. I think a lot of people were very surprised DarkZero lost that game. Then they go to the semifinals. Sadly, knock out my boys on Space Station, although that was a close one. Again, because it was a close one, though, there's starting to be these question marks on DZ, right? They ran through everyone in the best of ones. Now in these best of threes, everything is so close. Maybe they're not as good and the favorites as we thought they were. And then Shopify again in the lower bracket final, another, DZ and Shopify. It's always going to be a goddamn barn banger or barn burner. Doesn't matter who's ever on that roster.
That's a new one.
I made that word up. So anyway, like obviously they seem pretty good, but we're going against G2, Falcons, FURIA, Faze Clan. Like I'm just not seeing an NA team. And I'm an NA Glazer for sure, but I'm just not seeing one that I'm like super confident going up against some of these juggernaut teams. Maybe I'm selling our boys short, and I hope I am because I will be rooting for them, of course. But I mean, Shopify's been struggling the entire stage. Of course, Troy is inevitable. Troy Canadian hasn't missed an event since 2022 Berlin, so I was saying it to all the hate watchers. He's going to be at the event. Of course, he's going to be at the event, guys. Are you fucking kidding me? It's Troy Canadian. And he's at the event. If anyone I'm rooting for, actually low-key might be Shopify just because of the amount of hate that they've received. I kind of hope they just kind of stick it to the haters a little bit. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see because that's the question mark with that team. The more they start going out early in these events, the more question marks that's going to pop up. Drama, and people are going to be asking for roster changes, hot and colds available.
Hate started after that drip video, right?
We've talked about drip on like all like the last 5
Always
episodes.
into some drip bullying. That's going to be news to the Reddit.
Because like I was scrolling someday at YouTube and I saw like, is Spite like the problem or something like that? And of course, it's the clickbait. You have to like watch it.
So you get
that guy's awful.
I don't care. I think the hot and cold crying in a McDonald's uniform AI slop thumbnail from his most recent video is just a stroke of genius.
It is. You gotta respect it.
I hate it so much, but I respect it so much. Just hot and crying, looking like he's working at McDonald's. It's like, okay, like some of our viewers get mad. They're like, stop giving him attention. And it's like, he exists in our ecosystem. Like I can ignore him as much as I want, but like it's still gonna be talked about. Like I have to.
Yeah, it's always gonna be talked about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where the hate started though, to your original question. I feel like the hate's just because Spoit of how big of a creator he is. He's always going to have his fans and he's always going to have his enemies.
No, yeah, of course, but I have never seen that like that kind of level. It was after that it was after the video. And not sure if it's because of after that like a lot of stuff of that have showed up to me, but I've seen plenty after the video.
I think a lot of the community was actually kind of pissed that they were the only team that they didn't make roster changes personally. Because I think a lot of people were thinking they needed to, and they were the only team besides Faze Clan in the entire world, I believe, that didn't make roster changes. And then when they started out in groups, everyone was like, why didn't we change? This is the same old. And then people just started kind of getting pissed. Because they continue to play Chalet and still don't know how to play that map. So,
just 1 second here. Like I want a viewer of ours to like explain to me. Why does Spoit to me is like he's not controversial. Like I've never maybe I'm missing something, but I have never seen like any major thing from him where I could hate him or even like love him one way or another. Like he's kind of quiet. He doesn't really share his opinions that much. Like maybe the Save Siege thing pissed people off. Maybe any of you guys can answer this, but it's like I don't really understand what Spoit has done. Maybe I missed something. But what has Will done to like inspire such like vitriol from fans? I don't get it. Like I can understand why somebody would like dislike Super or like Canadian or like Ashen or like Alamal because they're big abrasive figures at times that like make things bigger than they need to be sometimes and make things about themselves sometimes. I get it. But like I don't think Spoit's ever done that. Why does everybody come after Spoit so hard?
I mean, it's just people trying to hop on the bandwagon, isn't it? Like one
could just
person gets
be.
the ball rolling.
Haters gonna hate. So
Exactly. It's just like a vicious circle. Someone starts it, and then people like thinking, "Oh, that's the just spam Twitch chat with whatever bullshit they want to say about this guy," and then it gets on Twitter, and then Drip Boolin starts making a video out of you. Then then it's raps. But I know Will. I know Will on a good level. Like he lives not too far away from me when he's back in the UK. But he's as you said, like not a controversial guy at all. Very nice, down to earth. But I think people are always just like, I don't know, jealousy, I guess, because he's obviously done well for himself. Maybe
that's a good point, right? Whenever you're at the top, people always want to knock you down.
Exactly. I don't know. I just think it's the bandwagon thing.
I mean, Stomping gets a lot of haters too, and I think that like I haven't like. I also think
hate
that's
on him about though. That's the
well,
thing.
he's the king to you. He's the king to you.
But like he's probably next to Paluh, the most consistent player in the last whatever Stomping's been playing, and it's just like, so how can you hate on him? There's nothing to. There's literally besides their performances, maybe like, but even then you can't pinpoint it on him.
Well, he didn't. He wasn't the one that got the hate. No, I saw everyone in G2 but him got the hate from his supporters.
Yes,
because there's like the whole console community came, and then obviously Jinxie gets involved because obviously he's good friends with Stomping, and like Stomping's playing well, and the rest of the team wasn't playing that great, and so everyone else was getting.
We started at the final of AWC.
Yes.
I remember everyone like just talking shit about Alemão.
Yep.
Kyle, by the way, you keep calling North America the best region of all time. Is it pronounced Analyzes R6 just came out with a tweet talking about the cumulative 6 major kills. Paluh, by the way, you're third on that list with 826 kills at every 6 major. Shaigo is a single kill away from 1,000. The only North American that is on that list of the top 12 is Houghton.
Okay.
And
how many
you think
wins
North America's great? You think North America's great?
Have?
It's all fucking Brazil and some Europe.
Shaiko's got 999 kills. How many majors? Ain't nothing to my king, Hot and Cold, who's got 2. I can go on.
Shaiko has 1 major.
He's 1 major, yeah. Then he's got EWCs. I was gonna keep going,
and you have to bring that up with the guy he beat on the show on here.
I didn't want to bring that up. The next person on the list is Cyber, and nothing bad I could say about that guy's the GOAT. Paluh's the GOAT. Alemão apparently is a bot.
And of course, the top comment on this tweet is like, probably won't happen, but the funniest thing ever would be if Shaiko comes to this major and doesn't even get a single kill. And it's like, that would actually be very funny. But sorry, continue with North America. Somebody's gonna say I interrupted you again.
The last team to talk about is 5 Fierce because I did save the best for last. I mean, that is our first seed. That is the captain, IGL, JJ, Blast, which Ballsack Nation, I'm here for you. We will ride. We will ride in Salt Lake City. They should have had him on the
fucking clue here in Ballsack Nation.
They should have had him, by the way, on the horse for the promo instead of G2. That should have been Ballsack Nation on there. Just saying. But that's okay. Keep sleeping on him.
I think they might have good reason to not want him to be on cameras.
Well, that's fine. He's maturing, though. That's the thing. He's maturing.
He did hit thrust rather aggressively in very short shorts. And I think production was praying there was not a wardrobe malfunction. So,
well, you know what? You can't hide once he gets to the main stage, which is inevitable, by the way, that he will be on the main stage with his crew of Forest and Snake, TSM major or SI winner, by the way. Fens and fuck, I knew I was gonna fit the last guy. It's Epic, right? It's Epic. Knew it.
Mm-hmm.
They will be inevitable.
Fens.
I heard some rumors that I'm not sure what part of the major won't be played at the it will be played by the hotel rooms like CS, right? Is it?
I'm working the major and I could not confirm nor deny that. I honestly don't know. That might be the case. Mint, were you nodding?
I was shaking my head to his question.
Oh, okay.
Cannot confirm or deny.
Okay.
Well, no, I honestly don't know. I have no idea. So, I mean, it's possible. I have heard that the budget for this event is a little bit smaller, and that might have some effects on how like the thing is run, but I don't know where that would be applied. It's
Yeah.
also worth noting that I've heard that the budget is a little bit smaller. I've heard on almost every single event for the last like 3 years, so who knows how true it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But anyway, my closing thoughts on Five Fears, I would want nothing more, and I think the script writers, hopefully they watch this show. I know they do. Ubi script writers. Let's make it happen when Five Fears makes it to the stage. Nothing more than Vita King and Faze Clan on the other side in the grand finals. And as JJ wins and gets the match point, he will stand on the desk and hip thrust right towards Vita King, right towards Souls, NS Cyber. All right, it's gonna happen. But on a real note, though, for Five Fears, obviously it's a lot of their first time at the event. The only one I'm not worried about is Snake. Like that guy obviously won a SI. Forrest has been there, but like I'm worried for JJ and the IGLs. I know they're our first seed, but they also didn't lose a single map during playoffs, during group stage, and like sometimes losing right before an event is a good thing. Maybe at boot camp, because I'm sure a lot of these great teams are going to be here in the Great 50 and boot camping. That hopefully they get their fill or get their fix of losing a ton right before the event, because that some of my greatest boot camps have usually been off the backs of us getting absolutely shit on. Most notably, Nafe, when we went to Brazil, Sao Paulo,
yeah,
Brothers House, that LAN event. We played
that was-
T2, T3 Brazilian teams for like a week, and we got smoked.
Yes, I think that was the most scrims I've ever lost in a period of time.
But the most
was-
learning
was
we've
it.
ever done. I remember the
exactly.
epiphany, like the week
like-
after. Whew.
Bro, like I remember we'd literally lose a scrim, we'd literally be happy. We'd be like, we just fucking learned a shit ton.
Yeah.
In A, we've got people like JJ Ballsack 2 years ago doing the same exact 5 rounds in a row. So now we're just versing FURIA, and like Kurtz has just walked up the balcony in 2 minutes 50, and Jason's still doing his setup.
To be fair, there's one moment I'll never forget, Nafe, where you were trained for and you literally had a moment in the game and you said, "Thank you, Kiru."
Oh, I know. You're gonna say is it when fucking Volps ran out top aqua?
I was Liquid, and he ran out top
Liquid,
when you
yes,
were
I
holding the
remember.
fork cut from behind the wall.
Yes.
And Kiru
Yes.
did that to you so many times, and you'd be like, what am I playing?
What a naughty word.
But Volps did it,
Yes.
and you were prepared, and
Yes.
you literally said the second after.
Yeah, I remember hitting the deck as soon as it happened.
Hold on a second here. Kyle, did you, like moments ago, did you say that Snake won SI?
Yeah, I heard that as
No.
well. That's
Yeah,
what
I heard
double
that too.
checking,
I was like,
went,
he was
What I meant
on the
was-
TSM roster that won, and that was what? Geo, Beaulo, Achieved, Merc, and Chala.
let's hear him out. What he meant was
Snake
yeah.
and Dasher joined after when they changed their roster.
Obviously. Like, if you would let me finish what I was getting at.
Oh yeah, if you
Was
would
the
let you
fact
finish the thing
that-
you finished talking about 5 minutes ago. Yeah,
Chat.
I misspeak all the time.
Comments. How many times he's going to interrupt me here? This is crazy.
David's gonna edit it out and then make both Nafe and I look so stupid because producer David's got your back.
Thank you, producer David. Could you just take out the part where I said that he was on SI too? Thank you.
You guys were.
yeah, we really look like idiots if you took that part out.
Look, he was surrounded by SI winners. Like the aura rubbed off on him. Okay.
I didn't know
Like,
there were goalposts to move in golf. They just keep going. I'm not interrupting you. Go.
That's all I got. That's all I got to say about NA. I'd like to hear from people who are not from NA now. Perhaps.
No, I just
Your
remember we were
thoughts?
talking about JJ
Yeah,
facing Faze on the final. I remember Martinez like receiving the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah. Bro, what,
He's doing the same.
What contrast and emotes that'd be? You'd have Vita King literally standing up doing this, and then you got JJ literally like
That'd be so
polar
great.
opposites.
The audio only crowd is missing some good stuff on this episode. So come on over to YouTube and rewatch it. No, talk about NA here because we also had Houghton on the show like literally 2 days ago talking about North America as well, and I mean he played against it, and I mean I want to see and hear what you guys think about it. I mean it is a weak region. I think that's pretty fair to say. Does NA have a shot at this event? Do you think? Have you been impressed with any of the NA teams you've seen?
I think you cannot sleep on wildcard. They are like always in great shape, especially internationally. And the other team, I would say DZ. They like have the experience to not like they have no reason to not show up. Like they have been playing well this split. Of course, you can say about the playoffs that they were a little down, but yeah, those are the two teams for me to watch out.
Agreed.
I
don't know.
I wanted
You
more
said it
DZ
perfectly.
thought.
No, I think the ones that are, if anyone's gonna make a run out of America, I think it's gonna be Wildcard and DZ.
So you hate Troy?
You know what? I might as well add fuel to the fire. I might as well just keep going down that route.
I believe the
Yeah,
word
so
was
I-
despise.
Yeah, at
Kyle?
the end of this, I
That's
can
what
give
it
you a
was.
thumbnail, like a proper like angry thumbnail. You can like edit Troy onto there, so that'll like get the views in.
Fuck yeah.
Nah, Shopify will make it our phase 1, 100%. But if we're talking like main stage, I think it'll probably be like Wildcard. I'd put Wildcard over DZ.
Well,
to me it's gonna rest on Baby Shark. No, so I pulled their stats. If what the number, I don't have them up on my screen right now, but the numbers were for all of Kickoff. I think only a single player on that team went positive in KD. And Baby Shark was I think minus 14 if memory serves correctly. It's gotten a lot better. It was much worse, but for the reason that a lot of other teams cited they did so well at SI was because of Baby Shark. And granted, they have changed roles up now that they picked up Adrian, so maybe Baby Shark is not as necessary. Yeah. But if he to me, he doesn't pass the eye test. Like, I don't care what the numbers say. He doesn't look like he's playing very comfortably on the role that he's on. He's losing a lot of direct gunfights that, Baby Shark over the last 6 months wouldn't have lost. Can you chalk that up to a lack of... You chalk that up to the roles? Can you chalk that up to, Spiker having to now be on shields and Adrian maybe gobbling up some opportunities? Like, maybe. But like when he's in engagements and when he's in what seems to be favorable spots on maps, he just botches kills. And I think one time I hope I didn't upset him, but I said he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat because he literally like mag dumped and missed every shot.
He was flanking kitchen on Clubhouse.
I remember that scene. I also watched it.
He had 3. He ran from stock through the door into kitchen hallway. 3 players were in there. 2 of them were looking hatch. 1 of them, I think, was on drone, and he missed everything. And they lost the round. And it's like if he wins even maybe like 1 or 2 of those gunfights, there's a high likelihood they end up winning that round. And that was just one incident, but there were a bunch more. And he had some really bad looks on Fortress against M80 as well, where it's like this guy should be winning these gunfights, and he's just not. What is going on? And if that's the baby shark that shows up for wildcard at the major, I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, it's probably... I'm not sure if it's a role like change that they had. Like he's probably feeling some confidence issues. Like I can say the same about JV right now. Like FURIA Liquid had some role changes, and JV also lost some confidence. You can see like he's just not like he used to be like the top, if not the top rated, the second one. And this kickoff, he was just off. But it still is just a couple matches, right? It was a short period. You can't judge much about it.
JV's numbers have been very poor, like strikingly poor. And again, I know that they've maybe changed some things up, but like, again, he was somebody where like I watched that team play and I was like, he looks like kind of a non-factor in a lot of those rounds. And I couldn't tell if it was by design.
Yeah.
This is a good time to talk about. Paluh, I want to ask you a question. Well, Mint, actually, I wanted to ask you this question, but I'm going to take it from Mint because I always interrupt him and I'm going to take his questions too.
Sure.
Do you believe there's a Team Liquid curse?
What a great question, Parker.
Yeah, what a
Thanks,
great
Kyle. I
question.
came up with it all myself.
Great
I
question.
came up with it myself.
Some of the Brazilians tell that the facility was built right on top of a cemetery. So
Oh,
it's like maybe the pressure gets like you have all the support on Liquid. You cannot say like they don't give you the support. So you gotta show results. Sometimes it gets you, sometimes it don't. Yeah. Maybe can be a factor, but not sure if the X factor.
did you feel the curse when you were playing on the team? Did you feel like your game was just like slightly thrown off by the bad vibes of Team Liquid, now Team Liquid Alienware?
Not really. Like there,
We mostly say it as a joke, but I mean, like,
but like
But now we have a new team on Liquid missing an event. What's going on there?
it's hard to say. Like there are like a lot of jealous when it comes to Liquid. I see like a lot of people like that wanna be there. That is like just sending you like bad energy things. But who knows? Who knows?
Kyle, is this a good time to talk about SAL and Brazil?
Absolutely.
Enough ball sack, enough balls nation.
What?
Enough to yeah, Nafe agrees. No more JJ Ballsack talk on this show.
Enough
Um,
Ballsack talk.
Well, there'll be a lot of it during Salt Lake City. Let's ride.
Let's ride into
SAL.
Brazil. Paluh, talk about us and take us through the 4 teams from, I know it's called SAL, but it's fucking Brazil. Take us through the 4 teams in Brazil that are making it.
Sure. Well, Lo, they are playing like Great Siege. Like they brought Dash that he's IGLing. I'm not sure if his first time, but he for sure like he came from Wildcard. They were like up in the meta. He's probably brought a lot of stuff from them. So they are playing well, but they are not abusing that much the meta. They sometimes they like struggle with a lot of the teams that are on the, let's say, the best teams in the region. And yeah, like you can watch out them. They can sure like surprise, but not sure like if they are playing on the level of the other teams like Faze or FURIA. Even NiP, I think they stood out a little bit. They are playing like great strats. Also NiP, like they are really good right now. They went to the final. They add Baseto. I'm not sure how do you guys say it in English.
We say Baseto, yeah.
Yeah, Baseto. So yeah, he's playing really well in his function. He's like moving in the count spot. So, dude, watching his game, he's the best planter that I have ever seen. Like, I don't know how, but he can hear every C4 that has been thrown through him. It's bizarre. Like you watch him, even though like there is smoke, everything throw, you see a C4, he's running from it. Like he hears that so well. Like he's doing really well on his function, like on his role. And they used to be like on last year they were a great team, but I'm not sure. But their map pool is not their strong suit. And the best teams, in my opinion, are like of course FURIA and Faze. Like Faze, as always, they are probably one of the contenders, right? Even though they had some struggles during the kickoff, they are always like playing. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna run it and they're gonna smash you. They like the individuals are great. Like they always, I think their utility usage is amazing. Like they always they are not gonna force like unnecessary gunfight unless it's cyber. They're gonna like clear it with some utility. It's annoying team to play always. And Furia, it's hard to say. As I said, like they run a couple of maps. I'm not sure if they had like the time to prepare that many, but the ones that they showed, they are playing well. And it's a great thing. Like every individual there is shooting hard. They like have Diaz, Loira. They are playing so really well. Um, what else I can say about them? We they are also playing the meta really annoying. They are bringing like double shields sometimes that they are like, and they are, as I said, Vopes is really adaptive and he's explosive sometimes. So they're gonna like clean the realms exploding sometimes. Like it's an unpredictable game, and if you are not like really aware, you're gonna get like yourself. Uh, how can I say? I forgot like
Caught off guard.
by surprise, yeah, out
Yeah.
of guard. Yeah.
Caught off guard.
So yeah, that are like the biggest points I think of the things. Nip, they always play the defaults, like, but they are doing it really well. Yeah. Faze and Furia are for me the things that can surprise most.
I'm super high on that Furia squad. Like
Yeah.
I think that Furia squad is going to continue to get better, and
Yeah,
they're already scary.
they are surely playing really well. The only thing, as I said, like, are the maps that they haven't shown if they are like also playing well. But that's just part of the things as they are showing, they are just like popping off and just shooting. The biggest thing right now I can say that is that they are shooting hard. Everyone there is like having great games.
I haven't really kept track of like the individual player stats on a lot of these Brazil teams, so I'm going to look that up right now. And I'll bring in Nafe just to talk about this and say you've played against a lot of these teams. Now, granted, they are all, well, for the most part, new identities here. Answer this question that has come up quite often. What is it with this FaZe Clan team? You're a smart guy. You've led a team. You've played across a bunch of different regions. FaZe Clan, we once described on the show as like they just don't give a shit. And then around like round 5 or round 6, they're like, okay, we just want to win this match, and then that's it. What is it? How do you quantify it?
I don't know. There's multiple things to that team, isn't there? Like they're again from the ground root, like they're all individually great players, and then as a team, they've obviously spent probably the most time any team has spent together, no, in this game. So like the amount of like chemistry they've built up inside the game, let alone outside the game. You know, they're probably like more than just teammates on that team, and I feel that's a big thing to like have, like, you know, that helps with the trust and all that kind of stuff inside the game. But I think the big thing is like they got the ice in the veins, haven't they? When it comes down to it, it's just like even recently with their game against Team Liquid, you know, that was a do or die game, wasn't it? If they lost that game, Liquid go to the major, they don't, and then again they prevail in that. They prevail in the SI final again. You know, I don't know. They've just got, I don't know. Just FaZe, isn't it? It's just FaZe, isn't
It
it?
is also very late for you. I should say that we might have blown past the time that I'd quoted Nafe on, and I do feel very badly. He's doing an excellent job, given that it is almost 1 a.m. his time. So I do for the viewers want to just say that I apologize.
Thanks for calling my interview shit. No worries.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, I just.
No, what I will say about FaZe,
But
when you watch FaZe from an outside perspective, they're not doing anything crazy, but they're doing the basics so well on an individual level, on a team level. It's like they're not like reinventing the meta or doing anything different. And like you're thinking, well, my God, I think the craziest thing I saw from them was on Bank against Falcons at SI, where they did like the double, like on the CEO attack, and they had the BB walking up red and the two guys rappelling down at the same time. I think that was the craziest thing I've seen FaZe did. But yeah, I think they've got the basics down so well.
the thing is, the time they have together, like I can tell because I spent like 3 years with the lineup with Sexy and Moringa. like you almost never get caught off guard, you know. So you have like a response for everything, and it seems like every one of them knows what to do in those situations, you know. Like they are always ready. They have like the responses for the things that they are gonna face. It's really hard to like get them out of guard. Like they are always awareness. So yeah, that's what makes them. It's nothing special. Like they are by far not most adaptive. Of course, they right now are like because a time ago I can say like exactly what they're gonna do. Right now they have like a bigger, like say a playbook, but even though it's not like something that's you never seen. Like they do their strats just like amaze me. Let's say.
It's very fundamental siege. Like it's almost like I think Fett called it like almost like perfect siege. It's kind of boring, and we referred this back to like when Penta and G2.
No.
Sorry.
Oh no, you said the word boring. Did you see the pro?
Oh yeah,
Reddit get
there's
to
been
us?
like okay. So I called Faze boring like once or twice, and I didn't mean it as like an insult. I just mean like they don't do any flashy plays. They don't tweet outrageous stuff. Like they don't drop their own teammates. Like there's nothing they can do to like get people to like talk about them, right? Like they don't make roster moves. Like they're loyal. Like they go on Raza's stream and they say fun stuff. And I will say I did have some Brazilians DM me and be like, you know, it's because you don't speak Portuguese. Like you don't understand like what they talk about in like our media. And I'm like, yeah, and I get that. And I totally understand it. But from like a Western / like English speaking perspective, like Faze just like they show up, they don't do anything flashy. They play really fundamental, like fundamental siege. It's foundational stuff. And that's it. And it's like G2 and Penta used to do the same. Like if you go back and watch a lot of those old G2 Penta matches, the Paris Major, the first one, is one of the most boring grand finals I've ever seen in my life. The 6-2, 6-2, 6-2 G2. EG got smoked. There was no chance whatsoever. It was like every time you killed somebody on G2, it honestly felt like there was 8 more of them to kill you. And it was just like, it was so impressive, but it was like from an outside perspective, it's just kind of like, okay, oh, they win another round. Okay.
It's not entertaining, right?
It's entertaining, I think, if you really like the fundamentals of Siege and you really like clean, good trades, good entry, like good utility usage, but like they don't really spawn peak. They usually stick together.
Most people don't
like,
even understand what's going on. Like
well,
you can even see like the people like throwing the gadgets to the other. It's like it's just the people killing, right? So that's what.
No, and it's like people get upset. People got upset with me because I called them boring, and it's like I don't mean boring like in that way. Like obviously they're entertaining, and I like watching them, and it's like they're great. They're very dominant, but it's just like they don't do anything like exciting. They don't wow you. It's not like Nafe. Like we'll see like Noah pop off. We'll see Citizen pop off. We'll see you pop off. Like Paluh. Like you'll all of a sudden come on like a deep lurk, and you'll get a 3K, and it's like that's exciting shit. And then Faze is just like very basic stuff, but it works, and they do it like perfectly.
Cyber does a little bit, but nowadays he has even him doesn't do like as he used to.
Yeah.
Well, I think
he's
Souls
more restrained.
What,
he's way more restrained now.
Yeah.
Souls. Yeah, I was gonna say Souls has like plus 55, and I honestly don't remember like any of his kills. I'm gonna be
Cyber's
honest.
plus 11, and we remember a bunch of his kills.
Yeah.
Like. So it's just
like
he's
doing something crazy for his kills. Souls is just like sitting inside getting a 1v3.
Okay, I have to eat a fucking hat because of Souls. So he did something exciting.
Oh, right.
He walked up and got like a 2K or a 3K or whatever it was on stairs and lair, and I was just like, if he does this again, Jesse, I'm gonna eat a hat. And then he fucking did it. And I know there's a delay on the stream. 4 minutes later, I get a DM from Mint saying like start eating. I was like, great.
Yeah, I wanted it.
I know.
They're just professional, aren't they? I think that's the word.
I think
yes. Professional is a great way of putting it.
Against Liquid, like Souls had like 3 clutches and Vita King 3 clutches. Like for me the most absurd one was the Clubhouse one that he like laid down and lined up the two on the hallway.
Yeah, by Jacuzzi. Yes.
Yeah.
So just for funsies, I pulled up Fluxo W7M's numbers. For Kickoff, Paluh, you had, let me make sure I'm getting these numbers right. For Kickoff, Paluh, you had 5 clutches. Okay, your whole team had 8. Loban, Cons, and Dots had 1 each. You had 5. On Faze Clan, they had 11. 5 clutches from Vidiking, 4 clutches from Souls, 2 from KDS. Do you remember any of those other than the Souls ones? I don't.
Actually,
We
I
should
remember
we should remember a 1v2 or more. But we don't. I feel like we don't. Other than the Souls ones. And again, that just goes to show you, like, if somebody wins a 1vx, we should remember that.
Usually you know when Vidaking wins because he stands up too.
I actually remember, but like it wasn't. Vita King. He won that. I don't know what is the call out. You just said Nafe on the academy.
Jacuzzi.
Yeah, jacuzzi. But yeah, the other ones, I'm not sure exact. There was one at the Fortress, and can't remember the last one.
I mean, you should remember it better than all of us because that's your region. You can't even remember it, for crying out loud. Like,
what was it? I watched the whole match. I should know. It was like one at the Fortress, one at.
Was it when he was
I can't check where the clutches were. I can just
one
check that they
clubhouse
had
that
them.
was that one. One at the Fortress and one I can't remember. It was at the lair. It was probably lair, but I can't remember exactly.
It's just like it just underscores that it's like they do what they do so well that it's not exciting. It's almost routine, which is what makes it seem boring. It's actually a compliment. When people hear that, they think like, "Oh, it's bad." No, I'm not using it negatively. I'm saying that in a very flattering way. Like, they're so damn good and they're so clean and they're so surgical that it's like it's just another day at the office. And as Nafe perfectly put it, it's like professional.
Yeah, you
They
think
show
like
up, they win, that's it.
KDS has done some interviews. Like he doesn't even enjoy playing the game. He's just there. He does his job, and
yeah,
that's it. It's so absurd, but they have won 2 SIs. They are the best team, probably gonna be on top for a while. They are, yeah, that's it. The guy does his job.
Like you can play in SR finals and like you just have no care really. Like you just don't care.
He just don't care.
Another one.
Like his photos with trophies is amazing. Like he has the one.
No.
He have one like the. It was in Team 1, like the Mexico major. He was like, he has like the circle thing.
I will say he was probably happy to be finished the Mexico major one to then immediately go up to the rooftop to like the nicest bar we've ever had at a hotel, period.
No. He doesn't even enjoy going out. That's the dude. Like I recently was at the Handy's birthday. Dude, he's just like being around, like he doesn't care about anything. He's just like
he just drops off the president leaves.
I saw a tweet like it's like a Brazilian troll account. And it's the birthday cake, and he's like everyone's singing happy birthday, and he just sat there like.
It's like he touches the hammer and then immediately he's like, "Okay, like let's get back, let's go. Like, what are we doing here?" And it's like they got him on the stage. Like, we need to interview. He's like, "I just want to be anywhere but here." I appreciate it, but. We have our consensus for Brazil. We have our consensus for EML. We have our consensus for NAL. We talked a little bit about China. We don't really know enough about APAC. I don't know if either of you feel super comfortable talking about APAC. I can't really watch it live, so I'm going to watch it like now that we're in the week before. I'm going to start doing VOD review for the matches that I'm doing so that I know that, but I haven't been able to do it yet. The one team that I know that we want to talk about is Weibo. But beyond that, is there anything else at APAC that we want to discuss? Again, only because I know that we've gone really long, and I feel for Nafe. I want him to be free. I want him to flourish. I want him to flourish. Weibo, Mint. You like Weibo. You like talking about Weibo.
I just want to quick Weibo for the APAC fans. If you made it this far into the video, I don't know if we're time stamped APAC, and here it is, 2 minutes. But here's what I got to say about Weibo. First off, look, this is your number 1 team going into the event. And I think these guys know, I think any pro player knows, Weibo is always a dark horse going into one of these events. Ever since they added Gohan onto the roster. He's now the main coach. Meepy's not there anymore. They looked even better, and they are a dark horse that I have to say has sadly knocked out some of our great American teams. One being DZ when Nafe was on it that he referenced earlier in the video 3 hours ago, and one being Shopify. So Spoit and Troy and bye-bye and sent them home as well. They are a team that I have called on this podcast in the past, a top 8 in the world. I think they are right there, right on the cusp of being a top 8 team in the world, and I do think they should have a little bit more respect on their name at this point. Also, you have to note that Salt Lake City, you can say what you want, this isn't technically the most competitive event in a sense. We are missing some great teams at this event. M80's not there. Of course, I started NA. Sure, your team secret, Savage isn't there. W7M's not there. Liquid's not there, right? There's a lot of quote like teams that we arguably should be at this event, have not made the event. You get like Weibo versus like 5 Fears, for an example, for a top 8 match. And I'm probably taking Weibo in there because they have the experience now with that roster. Reaps is one of the best mechanical players that we have right now in the scene, even though he plays the highest sense that I've ever seen in my life. And if you want to beat that guy, pro tip, just shake, like just jump up and down. Just that'll get his mouse to move. So just pro tip for the NA boys going. He plays way too high. But yeah, other than that, that's really all I got to say about Weibo. Like, I mean, they obviously farm their region every single time. They go to these international events. They get around to that top 8 mark, and that is about where they fall. But I could easily see them getting over the hump this time. Again, looking at the teams at the event, I could see them kind of breaking through and getting probably the highest placing that they have finished. Yeah, put some respect on Weibo.
Yeah, I think this is their event to get main stage.
I want to watch actually Cyclops. It's their meta, like it's all they want. It seems like they are like they can play whatever they want that's strong, and they probably can do things that they always want to. And nowadays it can work, you know. Like they haven't like been struggling with against DWG, but they won them. I want to see them play. Like they are not like an easy match against them. Never was. Like they always are. Like even though they are not doing great, they are always an annoying thing to play. And let's see. It's the method that for me, seeing they can do really well. You know.
Yeah. That's
one small thing here. How many times have we looked at a meta and gone, "This is Apex's meta"? Because I feel like we've said it a number of times. We said it when Shields were super popular. We said it when Finka was super popular. We said when Ying was super popular. And it's now like, I mean, it is a meta well suited for them. But I feel like Desk Talent have said this, players have said this, people have come on this show and said this and been like, yeah, Apex should flourish here. How many, like, are we super confident that there is a meta for Apex?
Like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna say some shit, but isn't DD the coach of the lineup? Like
he was, yeah.
He was, right? I remember seeing like the biggest thing about like let's say Cyclops is in Japan. They have so many players that they make farms like so they can apply for the team. It's so weird because like it seems they sometimes just like need some players to renew the, you know, like it's hard because it's absurd for me, like they don't have like options.
The player base in Korea and Japan is quite small from what I understand, Korea in particular. And I mean, we saw that when it was a major, and I think it might have even been SI, and there were only like 3 teams that qualify, or 3 teams that signed up for like the qualifiers from Korea. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was just like, it was really quite grim. And I don't, obviously, the player base is a little bit healthier in Japan, and I think there's more competition there, but it's just like, if ever there's a Japanese or a Korean team, typically the team that makes it is like the super team of the region, right? Like BNK Fear X is usually like the Korean super team on paper, but as we all know, just because you're a super team on paper doesn't actually mean that's going to translate to the server. I don't know. I mean, out of all of the teams, like out of APAC, the team that typically tends to do well is one of the Southeast Asian teams, whether it's a Thai team, whether it was that Fury squad, whether it was, Bleed for a long period of time. Now it's obviously Weibo as like the heir apparent. They tend to do really well for a variety of reasons. More fluidity with language, maybe more access to a larger player pool. But it's like Japan punches well above its weight. When you've got teams like Scars and you've got teams like CAG that have gone on like respectable runs. And I mean, hell, the old Norarengo squad ages ago dog walked half the competition.
Waka.
They can be
Valk
a great
reflex.
region. What did you say?
Valk reflex. That was
Yeah.
his classic, man. Every single round.
That
It's
guy
just-
was insane.
He was so good, and that team was incredible. Vibes were awesome. Like, I've always had a soft spot for CAG in particular, and it's like I'm glad to see them, find success at Reload. In what would end up being quite an odd year for them, I think that's fair to say with what happened with Black Ray. But it's just like I don't know. I look at APAC as a region, and I was a big vocal proponent of they need to get more experience, and iron sharpens iron. The more that they go to events, the more they learn, the better they're going to get. And I do think that was true for the most part. I think COVID kind of killed a lot of that momentum because then they went back to being like region locked and playing, in that like super league where half the teams had like 130 plus ping. Maybe there was a bit of stunted growth there, but it's like, I look at it here and it's like outside of Weibo, maybe one of the Chinese teams surprises us. I honestly think like APAC is kind of walking into this event with less hope than I've seen at previous events. That's my vibe. I could be wrong. And again, I have not watched a lot of APAC. So some of this is, again, it's just on feels. It's not actually on like real numbers and stuff. But when I've had casual conversations with some people who watch APAC all the time, they're not any more hopeful.
Yeah,
We're
I don't
vibing?
know. I've not watched any APAC. I think the only game I've watched is the Weibo one where they played their final game against A-Star. And I don't know. It looks like there's a big gap between Weibo and the rest of that region.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Anakin though, to the CAG pool. Like we are now in
Always.
a cheese, like you said, we're in a cheese meta. This guy always comes out with new tech. The Ying, you say the Ying shotgun's hungry. I will say Spirit's got it from Anakin. The Montaigne drop shot from Anakin.
Ugh.
And it's like the Montaigne revolver. Remember that meta? Ooh, Anakin. That was a great meta. But anyways, we are now in a cheese meta. Everyone's using it. But I bet you this guy has something new. He's got something new. Let's see what it is.
Gents, do we have anything more to add about APAC? We have taken a lot of your time. We have taken much time of our audience, but that is okay because again, that is the whole point. I have appreciated the discussions. You've both been terrific guests. Hopefully Nafe does not hate me as much as he hates Troy after this episode. He doesn't want to add another Canadian to his list.
Might as well this right, throw them all in.
Spirits is now also
Please don't
included.
send me any
Fox Ace.
difference.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to add? Is there anything that you think that we missed about these teams? And if not, the question that we like to ask on our super shows is, which team do you think is going to win the event? That is always our last question. So if we didn't miss anything, you can just hop straight to that last one and just say, if we were to say, you have to pick a team that's going to win it all, who do you think will be the champion?
I'll let him go first.
You can let Kyle go first if you want, and let Mint go first.
Yeah,
Come on, Carl,
go ahead.
rub those eyes.
What was that? Okay.
Rubbing those eyes. It's early over there.
I'll be right back. I'm getting
This guy's
called.
sat there going, well, it's about, what's the time over there right now?
It's a very late 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yeah.
He's got to go
It's-
golfing.
Yeah,
True.
sun's going down. I have to golf. I'm actually going to see The Devil Wears Prada 2.
What do you mean the sun is going down?
Oh,
It's 8
I've-
p.m. here in Toronto and there's still the sun.
Dog.
Like that. Oh, doggy.
Oh, dog.
You pay the dog tax.
What was the question? Sorry.
If
Who's
we
gonna
didn't
win?
miss anything,
Okay.
who's going to win?
Oh, I did not
Come
want
on,
to go first.
go on, say it. Go on, I know you want to say.
All right. Do you want me to
I'm
go
not saying
first?
ball second.
want me to
Yeah,
go
go ahead.
first?
Go ahead.
I think
Not-
G2 is going to win the event.
I don't see it. I think a semi-final from them.
You think what?
A semi-final from them, I reckon.
You think they okay? Okay, so you think they're at least like top 4?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think they're definitely top 4. I said
I don't know. I've just got like
I think it'll be Falcons.
okay.
It's a hard one, but I didn't watch much of Falcons. They are always like a team to watch. I'm gonna go with them Faze. It's the safe choice, right?
Those were, by the way, our who will win episode. Like last week was G2 Falcons Faze in the thumbnail. We don't do the thumbnail. We have a thumbnail artist who like will poll certain things. And the fact that those were the 3 teams, and so far those are the only 3 teams said. Big ups to our thumbnail artist for correctly predicting. Now Mint, shatter that unless you pick one of those 3 teams.
Furia. Fuck it.
Oh,
Just to be
okay.
different.
I like that. I can respect that.
All right. I know I said that would be our last
Citation.
question, but this is a simple yes or no. Do we think there's any chance in hell a North American team wins?
Yeah, I do.
You think
Wild
so?
card. I do think wild card.
So,
Okay.
if so, it's gonna be wild card.
Yeah.
But I think they lack a little of experience, especially in finals. So I'm not sure. They might reach the final, but they might struggle on it. Like, so yeah, they can be the team.
I'm not gonna say anything on that topic before I get bias hate towards me.
No, I promise I won't.
Nope.
I think that I think both Wildcard and DZ have the bones to be consistent top 8 teams in the world. I just don't think they're there yet. Wildcard obviously impressed me a lot with how scrappy they were, but all of their wins through the kickoff qualifiers were really hard fought. Like these were not like dominant, convincing wins where I'm like, oh, they won 7-1. Oh, they won 7-2. Wow, they're going to be quite the force. No, it was like, hey, we're losing and then we claw it back. And there's something to be said, I think, of teams that have that ability to like dig deep when you need it the most. But you're doing that against other North American teams. You're not going to like, can you do that against a FaZe Clan? I don't think so. Can you do that against a FURIA or a Falcons? When they start rolling, those teams don't slow down. And while Wildcard, I think in the past has shown that they can hang, if they have too many slow starts and they're still adjusting to this new style, I just don't know if it's their event yet. I think they and DZ have the most potential. And I think, come, EWC and onward, I think these teams can definitely compete. I just don't think they're ready yet. Five Fears, obviously, I'm low on just because they flew high in the qualifiers, but then, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that success will come on LAN, especially for a team that is so new. And I mean, SR has really obvious problems that, I mean, they limped into phase 1. They're going to have their hands full in phase 1. I don't know. That's where I stand on NA right now. And I mean, I'm open to being wrong. I'm wrong plenty of times. I'll admit when I am, but that's how I see the landscape in North America right now.
I think it's fair. I think they got to prove it. I think they got to prove it right
Yes.
now. That I think right now we are going in probably the weakest that I think we've went into an event. But all it takes is one event to prove people wrong. So
Yep.
I'm with you. I think DZ is the other team that could absolutely shut me and my hater self up. They have the players that perform at events, maybe not internationally. Actually, let me take that back. SSG. But they can shut me up real quick. They can shut me up. I know what Nick can do. I'm a Nick fan. I know what Nick can do.
It's a major winner. If you got a major winner on that team, you got a world champion on that team. You got, technically 2 major winners because Kino won a major as well.
True.
NJR won it on that team in Charlotte. Kino obviously won the Munich major. You got a world champion in Fultz. You got Call Out as a coach. Like that team's got it. Like, yeah, J9O and Newers haven't won anything, but like those guys are damn good. Jack is having an incredible season. Like, I think that team can obviously compete, and maybe they turn it around. The only reason why I'm a little doubtful is how those final playoff matches at DZ went. DZ steamrolled in the groups. If that had continued and they steamrolled their way through the playoffs, I'd be saying, yeah, this is probably a top 4 team. I mean, Fresh, we joked about it on the broadcast, but Fresh literally said like DZ's going to win the major. I think they've still got a good shot. I'm not convinced yet. They got to prove it, as you said.
Agreed. What can I say?
You said it. You said all you needed to say.
Agreed.
Let me out. I think that's it then. I don't think we missed anything. Gentlemen, I know that this was a long episode and I know that it was later in the evening. Paluh and Nafe, I really appreciate both of you guys joining us, particularly you, Nafe, because I know it is very, very late for you. I think now it's actually 1 a.m. I think I got my time wrong.
Yep, it is indeed 1 a.m. My schedule is officially ruined.
I'm
My invoice
sorry.
will be coming in at a higher value now.
I'm very sorry. I'm Last Free Nation. Producer David, we might have to sell your Lambo to pay for this, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. I just wanted to say, of course, to everybody that comments, we do read the comments. We know that when we have guests on and stuff like that, sometimes the comments aren't as, don't come as quickly, and that is A-okay. But always, like we say, like, subscribe, comment. It really helps us out. On behalf of our wonderful guests, both Nafe and Paluh, on behalf of myself, Mint, Bet, and Troy, who obviously the latter two weren't here, on behalf of producer David, Last Free Nation, and of course, you, the audience, thank you so much for watching the Salt Lake City Super Show, and we will see you in Salt Lake City. Take care.